Hello everybody, and welcome to the Drift Masters European Championship. We are here live in Poland. We're live on Red Bull TV. My name's Becky Evans and I'm joined by Dave Egan. Dave, it's lovely to have you here. Now, we are about to get our top 16 underway. This is our season finale. A champion is going to be crowned this evening. However, our top 32 came up with some interesting results. I mean, we've got to talk about Dwayne McKeever, a gearbox failure. He's been racked with mechanical failures this season.
I think that's the story of the season. You think it's going to go one way, and you look at the drivers like a ranking, but then the cars can give up at any moment. Dwayne looked like a surefire favorite for the top 16. All of a sudden, he's watching from the sidelines. And for all of the championship contenders, after 5 rounds of beating their cars to pieces, they're now starting to give up. It's a war of attrition from here. Who can keep their machine going for the rest of the competition?
And we've got to talk about Shanahan. He was sitting in 3rd place. He came to his top 32 battle, and it just didn't happen for him. So of our 6 contenders, 2 are now out. We have 4, but Jack, I know, is understandably gutted about this.
Yeah, I mean, he drove very well this year, but he made big errors in Germany and big errors here. And I think that's from trying to be too much of a showman. The rest of the drivers in that top 4 were being calculated. Jack wanted to go out and put on a show for the fans. So while he won the hearts of everybody here, he isn't getting the points for it on the board.
Now, there's a lot of maths involved in this. I know that behind the scenes, the Drift Masters guys have been doing all kinds of arithmetic, but one of the major mathematical results which stands out is the fact that if Conor wins his top 16 battle right now with Sposób, that means that Peter, by the numbers, cannot win this championship.
Yeah, that's the interesting one. Everybody's going to be watching that battle. Conor Shanahan goes through, Peter Więcek goes out. That means that Peter, the last year's champion, 2-time reigning champion, is out of Conor's way. However, he's got 2 very hungry Finnish drivers to go through from there on in.
And we just have to mention, we are in the PGE arena in the center of Warsaw. We are packed to the rafters. Over 53,000 people are in here. This is incredible, Dave. You have to realize how far drifting has come, especially for you. You've been in this sport far longer than I have.
Yeah, well, we never dreamed of nights like this. You know, these are things you sit around talking about. You never think they're a reality, but knowing how much dedication the teams, the drivers, the media, and of course the fans who fill these stadiums all year for Drift Masters, they're the real stars. And we're just going to keep putting on bigger shows. It's almost emotional. And I've got goosebumps before we even start, Becky. I'm going to go up and join in, and I think we're going to lose our voices tonight.
Absolutely. I'm so hyped. Dave, I cannot wait for this all to get underway. You run up to the box and we will get into our top 16. Guys, strap in. This is going to be massive. I can't wait to see what happens. Get ready. Ian, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Becky. Yes, strap in indeed. Grab a cold beverage, and like Dave said earlier on, you might want to sit all the way back on your sofa, because by the time we get to the end of the night, you're only going to be using the first few inches. This was our top 16 parade. As you can see, a very focused Conor Shanahan brings his car out to in front of these sold-out 53,000 seats. I went outside earlier, and the energy in this place is absolutely electric. Cheers from the crowd, so many different nations, everybody cheering everybody on. And that young man right there got a huge roar, but not from just a finish, from every single person in this room, because he is a superstar. And that man, well, as you might well understand, he got one of the biggest roars in the house, the local hero, the champion, the 2-time Polish champion. But let's take a look at this top 16 grid. Paweł Korpuliński gets a bye run straight into the Grade 8. Itah Sadeh could take out Juha Rintanen in a fight for the championship. Clint Van Oort and Diogo Correia, well, they're just at this one for fun and for bragging rights at the end of the season. But then we've got Conor Shanahan to take it on Dawid Sposób. That, again, a big one for Shanahan. If he moves forward, he could clinch the championship. Więcek versus Nilsen. Nilsen, again, nothing to lose, just a bragging rights battle. We've got Zakouřil to take on Naoki Nakamura. Again, another bragging rights battle. It's the end of the season. There's only a few trophies left to grab. Lauri Heinonen versus Baggsy. We heard Shanahan say to Baggsy, take him down. It matters to the Shanahans that Lauri Heinonen exits competition in top 16, and then Jakub Król to take on Kvia, our wildcard driver of the evening. Well, you take a look down on the circuit, packed out grandstands, every seat almost filled. This is going to be breathtaking. Top 16 this evening in Poland at the PGE Narodowy in Warsaw is going to be one for the history books. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. It's time for top 16. Well, normally we would see 2 on the line, but this evening, well, anything could happen and anything will happen as we make history in Poland. Paweł Korpuliński sits on the line with a bye run into the Great 8 after a phenomenal beginning of the evening. We see Kalle Rovanperä not make it to the line, and then Oliver Randalou, in a complete turn of misfortune, not be able to drift the first corner. Judges having the hard decision to say you cannot continue further in competition, which gave Paweł Korpuliński, after winning his battle against Matt Kydridge, a bye run through to the Great 8. All he has to do now, as you guys have probably worked out from earlier on in the day, is to initiate on that line and drift the first corner. But we know Paweł Korpuliński is in his hometown. He is a Polish hero. He's going to put down a show, and there we go. He's going to keep it safe. Very calculated for Korpuliński. He's going to put on a show run here for the fans in attendance, go back to the paddock and say, well, let's get ready to see who we will battle in our Great 8. Who will it be? Will it be Juha Rintanen? Will it be Itah Sadeh? That one coming up in a moment before we decide it. So Paweł Korpuliński there, putting on a bit of a demo run here, feeling out the track surface, feeling out the grip, and making sure that car is 110% for a shot in the Great 8. So as he crosses the line, that is it. The deal sealed for Paweł Korpuliński. He heads through, the first driver to head through to our Great 8, Paweł Korpuliński. A very proud Polish fans there, as you can see, waving the flag, and we got the slow-mo camera back out. Look at these shots. You will be graced by these all evening as Paweł Korpuliński puts on a masterclass once again, and we expect this young man to go further and further in competition this evening as he does everything he can to try and clinch a podium here. As I say, the last few trophies remaining of the season, 3 of them up for grabs, and everybody wants to get their hands on one before we close out the season and look forward to 2024. So there we go. Korpuliński gets the run done, goes back to the paddock, and I can see 2 cars on circuit now, ready to warm up. A big championship fight, big pressure on the shoulders of Itah Sadeh. He has it all to play for, and almost crashing into each other as I look out over to see where Korpuliński is. And he's just going to sit on the line until we make that official from our judges. And there we go, Sadeh and Juha Rintanen. And it is official. The judges won't put the graphic up on the screen. We know that Korpuliński does make it through into the Great 8, and he will be asked to exit the circuit once Itah Sadeh, the youngest Israeli drift driver on the track, makes his way to the start line. And now the pressure's on. Now the pressure begins. Juha Rintanen sits on the line, facing off a battle against Itah Sadeh. Itah Sadeh, the higher qualifier, 24th place for Itah Sadeh, 25th place for Juha Rintanen. Juha Rintanen, for the first time, will have to chase down the younger driver. So Itah Sadeh giving the signal to pull in to the start line. The start line marshal Marcin just checking over the car. Dave Egan joins me in the commentary booth. A quick sprint, Dave, from the centre of the circuit.
Yeah, it's the first time I've taken 2 elevators to the commentary tower before, but wow, what an audience, what a crowd. We're pumped and ready, Ian. The atmosphere in here is incredible. And I can feel it. I talked to every driver on the grid there in the top 16, and you can feel the shaky hands. They don't believe what's happening right now. They said it's like a dream. Well, the dream will become reality for 1 champion and 1 winner, and who's it going to be? Well, we're going to kick it off here, and you know what? It's one of those nights where a 17-year-old from Israel could step up against one of the biggest names in European drifting, Juha Rintanen. And Rintanen, he was calm and collected on the line. I think he's enjoying the competition here this weekend. I think he's ready.
I think he's ready, but I think he's nervous as well, Dave. He's got to chase down Itah Sadeh. They come off the line through the gears. Sadeh throws that car from left to right, flicks it into that first outside zone. Juha Rintanen looks for the door, looks for the side, but don't count Itah Sadeh out of any fight. He took Shanahan down in Germany. Can he take down now the man that's hunting the championship? As Juha Rintanen parks his GR86 onto the door, but now loses a little ground. He goes for another little dive up into the door of Itah Sadeh's BMW as they fire into outside zone 5, and that was brave from Juha Rintanen as they get into 6. The fireworks are up from behind the wall, and Sadeh brings them home.
That is what it's all about. Rintanen making contact with Sadeh as they came into that outer zone 5, and Sadeh just kept the foot in and stayed in it. This is a war on track right now, Ian. Nobody's going to hold back. This is going to be the most intense top 16 we've ever seen because it means that much more to each and every driver.
Yeah, every driver wants it, Dave. That's what I was explaining earlier when you was making your way up here, that even though some of these battles are just for bragging rights, they're there to try and claim those last 3 trophies that are available this weekend, and everybody wants it. We have a championship fight on our hands, and Juha Rintanen not only wants a podium, but he also wants to win that championship. He's going to go hard now.
Yeah, well, Conor Shanahan has the eyes, the target on his back here as the championship leader, but the two Finnish drivers, Lauri, Heinonen, Juha, Rintanen, and then we got Piotr, Więcek on the outside chance. They are starting to believe here. They're starting to think Shanahan, you know, anything can happen. His brother knocked himself out of competition. There could be a chink in the armor. And Conor Shanahan looked nervous, you know, on the grid. Everyone looks nervous, and it's going to be an exciting top 16. A taste of that, doing the job in the lead position. Rintanen doing the job in the chase, but only half the job's done as Rintanen chases down that championship. He's got to fly out the blocks here.
He certainly has. He's got to put down the lead run of his life, but he's going to open the door for Itah Sadeh now as he puts the back end of that GR86 to the wall. Through that inside zone he comes. Itah Sadeh is with him though. On the back bumper he goes. Looks for the side now. Needs to claim that proximity. He's very shallow as Itah Sadeh. Doesn't gain the proximity that he needs as they fire through the centre of the circuit. One last chance to make a big dive, and he goes for it into outside zone 5, but he's shallow. Both of them are shallow. There's wobbling and they're waving, and they just can't seem to get control as they get it across the line.
Are we watching this, like this, the fireworks, the pyro, the CO2? This is insane. What a show for the packed attendance here. And it takes it out. Well, I love this. 17 years of age. Never believed he would be on this stage so soon in his career. Up against, look at that initiation. He threw everything at Juha Rintanen there. Rintanen went to the wall, but he's smooth Rintanen. He knows what he has to do. He knows what the lead run is all about. But this, for me, look at the bravery of Sadeh. He chases through those inner zones and dives up onto the door. And you know what, for me, Itah making a couple of errors, a couple of wobbles, but boy, did he give it absolutely everything. Rintanen, to me, though, has he looked shaken at all? No. He looks like he is comfortable, but he's going to drive safe enough, I think, until he's challenged. And look at that. Look at those scenes here in the stadium. Ian, we're just fans at the end of the day. We're trying to act professional here, but we can't. It's too... Look at the dive from Sadeh. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going for it. There's no messing around now. This isn't the time to mess around. This is get the job done, seal the deal. As I say, 3 trophies left to collect this season, apart from the championship ones. But Sadeh's not in the fight for the championship. He has nothing to lose.
I'm not sure which way this is going to go. I'm just looking at the replay there. Some great moves from both drivers, and you can see they're nervous as they await the decision. Who's going to go through to the top 8? It's Juha Rintanen, he's still in the fight. The Finnish driver is still in the fight. Finland still have 2 of their boys in the mix right now. But, you know, even if you're at home, give a round of applause to a 17-year-old from Israel who shook the whole game up this year. Boy, can I not wait to see him back next year. He is going to come back stronger, and I don't think anyone's ready for how good he's going to be.
No, he's going to be good.
So we're going to get into Becky. She is with Juha Rintanen. Becky, the fight is still on.
Absolutely, Dave. The fight is very much still on. Juha, we were talking earlier, and we said 1 step at a time. You're now 1 step further towards that top spot. I want to ask you, what is going through your mind when you look up here and see all the Finnish flags waving for you?
There's so many Finnish flags here. It's totally crazy. And with the Polish and everything else, the stadium, I can't believe it.
Well, good luck in your next battle, and congratulations.
Thank you, Becky.
Well, Juha Rintanen, I mean, this is a guy that's cooler than the other side of the pillar. This guy comes out here every time and just says, I'm not too fazed by anything, and I think that's working for him.
Yeah.
You start to see other people overdrive, get panicked, get nervous. Rintanen looks cool, calm, and collected, and now we move on to 2 guys that are anything but. Clint and Diogo Correia, these are the showmen. These are the guys you want to see in a top 16 battle, because Clint and Diogo Correia from Portugal are going to leave every panel of these 2 cars on the track. They're in bonus time. They want to be the winner tonight. They want to be the one that everyone's talking about going into next year. They're not in the championship race. They don't really care. They're here to put on a show. Ian, Correia has been phenomenal when he's on form. Same with Van Aert, but they haven't had that form all the way through the season. Tonight, though, they look like they're comfortable and they look like they're ready. Both of these guys said to me, in the parade, it's bonus time now, and I am leaving it on the track. And for our entertainment here at the finale, we're about to see it go down.
Yeah, I think Clint wants this one more than Diogo Correia. Correia's had a taste of the champagne this year, and I know that Clint Van'Aert's been hungry for it. And look at that, the big initiation for Van Aert. He's in that zone, he's deep, but Correia opens the door and takes a step in now as he goes for a big dive down on the inside into outside zone 4. Correia knows he can't let Clint Van Aert take 1 step further away, and look at Correia. He's hungry for this one as they fire through the middle of the circuit. Correia's closer than we've seen anyone through the centre of the circuit. But look at Clint Van Aert. This is a textbook run. This could be a huge qualifying run. What a lead from Clint Van Aert.
Unbelievable. Leaves the boot lid and the rear bumper over the finish line. Correia with some crazy dives through that run. Clint Van Aert, well, he's dialed in that lead run, isn't he? Like, he's there every time.
He certainly is, but for me, the chase as well from Diogo Correia, that was absolutely phenomenal. He was with him every single move of the circuit, every move that Clint Van Oort made, he mirrored it. He put the car exactly where the judges asked him to be.
What I love about this, at outer zone 3, he's as deep as the chase car, as the lead car. Watch the rear wheels. He's in the wall with Clint Van Oort. He's not on the inside of the track. He is right there on the edge of the track. Look, rear wheels into that outer zone. Judges are going to like that. He's chasing him and matching his angle without cutting the track, without sacrificing. And that transition is absolutely disgusting. What is this man doing? That is a risk that he didn't need to take, and he did, and it worked.
We're going to keep seeing that, and we're going to keep seeing that till we see an accident, because these guys are just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to see an accident, but boy, do I want to see more. I want to see some more drifting. I want to see some more moments. And right now, Clint Van Oort, the bit's falling off every part of the car. Correia's sitting there going, come on, take that back quarter panel off. We're ready to rock and roll again.
It's the whole back end
The
now.
whole back end is nearly off the car, and they're going to try and see if they can fix this. The back end of the car has just fallen apart. There's so many repairs on the back of that car this weekend, but they're just going to send him. They're just going to run him. He said the car is intact. Clint Van Oort's car is intact. He's got no rear bumper, no boot lid, and he hasn't got a care in the world either about it. He doesn't care anything about this car. If he had to leave every panel on the track just to get to the top 8, I don't think he has a problem with that.
Well, they're going to duct tape it up. They're going to go for it. They're going to try and secure it as much as they can to stop it falling off. And as you can see, more duct tape than your local hardware store going on there right now.
This is not a time to be subtle, and it's not a time to be, look at this, they're going to duct tape the rear of the car to the roof.
To the roof, yeah.
Yep. Marston's sitting there going, you know what, at this stage of the season, I've done worse. And he's going to duct tape, he might just wrap the whole car up like a present.
Like a present.
Yeah, and just, he won't get out the doors, nothing, just wrap the whole thing in tape and send them on. But, you know, Marston, our starlight Marshall, another unsung hero of the championship, by the way. An amazing character, a guy that he lives and breathes for this sport. He stands out there all day, he wants the drivers to put the best display on. And as you can see from here, Marston, he is panicked to try and get Clint Van Oort back going again here.
Yeah, he certainly is. He knows that there's only a certain amount of time that these guys will sit there without having to, you know, do a cool down run in the car. And he knows the nerves, Dave, are through the roof. And he won't want to have both of them sitting there knowing that they're thinking about the run. They're overthinking what they need to do. And it looks like he's just going to put that last piece of tape on there, and then Clint Van Oort will be ready to rock and roll.
I'm going to make a prediction, Ian. I'm going to make a prediction that all this work that Marston is doing will probably be undone within 20 feet of the first corner.
Yep.
I feel he's just going to take the back end off the car anyway.
Yeah, outside zone 1, that'll be gone.
But Marston's going, well, he left me fine. Nothing to do with me. He was fine when he left me. So here we go, Diogo Correia from Portugal in the lead. It is going to be Clint Van Oort from the Netherlands. It's an international affair here. I told you, 23 nations fighting it out this weekend. And here we go, Clint Van Oort chasing in Diogo Correia.
Yeah, Correia on a big one. He's flicked the car across the circuit. 90 panels already flying. Clint Van Oort goes for a dive, but he's out the outside zone. He needs to mirror Diogo Correia's every single move. He's lost in the smoke though, is Clint Van Oort, as Correia throws up a smoke screen, trying to get away as he parks the back end into the wall. Now Clint Van Oort starts to make the dive. He looks for the side of that BMW. They fire through, but Clint Van Oort's way out of sync. He's way on the inside now. He's having to work on this one, but it's a mistake from Correia. He tags the wall, and that forces Clint Van Oort on the inside.
Yeah, that's made it awkward for the judges. That made it very awkward. Up until then, the mistake from Van Oort across the center of the track would have made the obvious decision, give it to Correia. But then Correia slams the wall heavy on the last outer zone, and it forces Clint Van Oort on the inside of the track. Judges are going to have to discuss this one, Ian. And again, it's the finest of margins now. One mistake can cost you everything.
Yeah, certainly can. Let's take a look back at the replay, though, Dave. See where it kind of was all going right for Diogo Correia right up until that point. For me, Clint Van Oort made a mistake on that initiation, didn't get deep enough in the wall. That transition there was disgusting. But he missed this inside zone as well. He kind of got lost in the smoke and forgot where the transition point was. The muscle memory didn't really come into play for him. Didn't do a bad job here on outside zone 4.
But watch Van Oort, he starts to go to the inside of the track. Now he gets pinned, he has contact with Correia, which puts him offline. That's a mistake. He transitions way too early, and now he's in the wrong place. As he comes in here, Correia hits the wall and hits Van Oort. That's what happens. So you've got two options here. One, Van Oort is coming in the wrong angle, picking up too much speed. Correia, though, has hit the wall, so this is going to be a really tough one for the judges. Watch Correia. He hits the wall here and slows, but Van Oort is coming in too fast. So this is going to be hard for the judges to decide. Was Van Oort always going to hit him, regardless, or did Correia exaggerate that by hitting the wall himself? That's going to be a really tough call.
Certainly is going to be a tough call, Dave. And you know what? Tonight, of all places, I would never want to be in the judges' seat because they've got a real big task on their hands.
Absolutely, for sure. And you can see Correia, there's plenty of battle damage on that car from over the season. These cars have almost done their job. Almost. They're
Few
nearly
more
home.
runs.
Those cars deserve a good old sit down after this season. And
They're laughing about it. They're like,
look at them. Highest stage of competition in drift history, and here they are laughing and joking about how wrecked their cars are. Correia's like, have you seen how much tape is holding mine on? And Clint's like, well, the roof is holding on my back boot.
Was
holding on my back boot.
not anymore.
So they're having a laugh, but this is the decision. Watch, Manu gets pushed back onto the inside of the track. Correia stays going on. Judges, this is what we're watching, what the judges are watching. So watch Van Uit's coming in way too fast, but Correia does hit the wall. Now we're wheel to wheel there. So watch, Van Uit's on the wrong line on the inside, coming at way too much pace, but then Correia hits the wall and slows anyway. So this is going to be, did Correia...
I think Correia put Van Oort in the inside.
So you're on the other side. I'm
on the other side.
I'm on the fence here. I think Van Uit's coming in. He made the error before the transition.
But I think if it wasn't for the contact, Dave, and Correia would have kept going on that arc, he would have been able to tuck up on the inside and just sit on the door.
I'm of the opposite opinion. I think Clint Van Uit was going to hit him either way.
You think?
I think he was coming in a lot of pace. He was cutting the course. So he's coming in hot, and he knew he'd lost ground across the center section. But that's the beauty. We don't have to decide.
No.
But it goes to show how difficult it is to judge at this level.
For sure.
So let's see if we can get a decision from the judges. They're still discussing this one. Still having a good discussion on this one. And it means a lot to both of these guys. And both of these guys will know it's not clear-cut now if this is the length of decision.
Yeah.
Correia and Van Uit. This is, look, if you look back here, this is where it's all going to come from. Van Uit is on the inside. Watch, he's picking up a lot of pace. And then there's a hit from Correia.
I don't know. I still think Clint Van Oort would have made it, because if you look at the line,
here's a third option that could be being discussed.
No, don't do that.
Both make a mistake. So it is Correia's mistake and Van Uit's mistake, and we just go back to something else. That could also be the case. Does it cancel it out? We don't know. But Van Uit does make contact. Correia, and both of those guys are not going to know, because Van Uit's going to know I'm on the wrong line. Correia's going to go, I hit the wall. So both guys, I think in their head, think they might lose this one right now, but they don't know. And they know there's a long judging decision from both of these guys, and I think it's going to come back to further parts of the two runs. I think it's going to come back to, did they both make big errors there, and what was the other run like? What happened on the other run? So it's going to be nervous. You can see the Portuguese fans very nervous. They only have one horse in the race all year, and that horse has been galloping, because Correia is what a representative for his country of drifting in Portugal. He is a phenomenal driver, and Clint Van Uit, the only Dutch driver on the grid. So here we go. One of them will be going out. One of them will go to the top 8. Judging decisions will drop in shortly, and I think it's going to be a bit of an explanation at the end of this one. So who's going to get the call? Diogo Correia gets the call, and he cannot believe it, and he goes in to the top 8. You can see what it means to him. I'm going to quickly have a chat with our judges in a moment, but let's see. Becky Evans is down on the track there. She is with Clint Van Uit. He's gone out of the competition, but what a night for the Dutch driver, Becky. Amazing stuff.
Yes, Dave, an incredible evening for you. I mean, this weekend must be a dream. I mean, we saw you come out swinging in qualifying to get that 4th position and got yourself all the way into the top 16. How have you found this track with your driving style? Because you've really come so far forward this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a crazy weekend, and this track really suits me. I don't know, I just love the walls, and the car seems to like to be a wall magnet. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just feeling good, confident, and yeah, it's sad that it's like top 16 over now, but congrats to Diogo. He did a great job, and can't wait for next year. Gonna put some impact.
We can't wait to have you next year. Thank you so much, Clint.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, a happy Clint Van Uit. Big statement there that he is going to be back stronger than ever next year. Kevin, tough one for you guys there. A little bit of contact on the second run.
Yeah, a lot of analysing there, Dave, but realistically what it comes down to is this contact here, and in our opinion it's both drivers that are at fault. Correia coming in a little bit too hot and hitting the wall, and as you can see there, Clint a little bit offline and also causing a little bit of that contact, so therefore it comes back to our chase runs overall, and I think Correia having a far better chase run over the 2 runs compared to Clint. So yes, the contact did play a part in it, but overall Correia was the better driver, I think, and just took the win.
Well, there you have it, Ian. It was the third option. They were both at fault, so Correia gets the win. You see, Clint coming too fast, Correia hits the wall, both at fault for what happened. We go back to earlier in the run, and Correia having the better run. So there you go. Glad we don't have to work this out. I'm watching these judges over here. The steam coming from the ears of the judges right now. We move on to the big championship battle. Conor Shanahan has to win. He has to get it done here because everyone else is looking on form. Shanahan needs to stay in the fight. Conor Shanahan, our current championship points leader, goes up against David Sposób. He's a wild card, but don't let that fool you. He's every bit as good as anyone else on this track tonight. The Shanahans are ready. The Irish flags are high. The Polish flags are high. And Sposób would love to upset the apple cart here, be the big name tonight, and shake up the championship as the wild card driver. Hold your breath. This is the big battle of our top 16. Can Conor Shanahan get the job done? Ian, this has never been more tense in a top 16 battle.
I'm nervous, Dave. I'm nervous for him. They've come off the line. Shanahan needs this one to secure the championship just that one step further, but Sposób wants to stop him dead in his tracks, and he's going to try everything he can. Look at this from Shanahan, though, nice and deep in outside zone 1. That pocket opens up, and it allows Sposób into the groove, and now groove opened once again as Sposób absolutely fires onto the door of Conor Shanahan's GT86. They're wheel to wheel. It's deep onto the walls. Shanahan flies through the centre of the circuit. Look, dab at a handbrake, but the dive from Sposób didn't even make sense, but he backs it in and makes a mistake, and that allows Shanahan to drive away.
That's a big run for Conor Shanahan, nerve settler, but Dawid Sposób pulling some moves. That dive across the centre, now he did cost him a little bit, but the Irish fans, you can tell, they're happy with that run from Conor Shanahan, but Dawid Sposób he's not to be trifled with. That was an incredible chase run. He knew the quality. You're going up against the championship leader, you're the wild card. Why not throw all the chips on the table? That's what he did.
He certainly did that, Dave. Look at this. For me, it was a dive through the smoke, through the centre of the circuit. It was just unbelievable. The Sposób was right there. Look at that one wheel off the tarmac as they come through there on that inside zone 2. Shanahan looks dialed. He looks absolutely in the zone. He's working away. Look at this. Nice angle to the wall, fulfilling all of the zones. Sposób right with him, though. But watch this again. A brave move. Boom, through the smoke. Big dive down. Shanahan's almost all 4 wheels locked up there, trying to scrub the speed into outside zone 5, and that kind of upset Sposób, I think, a little bit. Kind of put him in a weird position.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tail of the tape for the whole night, really. You know, the lead driver trying to slow down to make the outside zone, and the chase car starting to accelerate. So they're doing two opposite things. The lead car is trying to avoid the wall. The chase car not looking at the wall, looking at the lead car. And all of a sudden we get this moment every time where we're like, whoa, and everybody sort of settles themselves to get through it. So Sposób now in the lead. Shanahan's got to go for it. He knows Sposób's put in a good chase run, and now it's up to Shanahan to put it on the door. If he wants to be the champion here tonight, this is where he has to make a statement, and he's got to take out Sposób.
He certainly has. He's got to be flawless, Dave. He's got to be absolutely clinical. They come through the gears down. Nice initiation. Shanahan closer than Sposób, though. Look at this. This is world class from Conor Shanahan at the moment. Dialed onto the door he goes. They look for that inside zone 2, and Shanahan almost gets himself stuck on the inside, but he makes it work, and Sposób shuts it down.
I think Sposób's had a mechanical failure. In the transition, something weird happened. You could see his car shut off, but we're going to get a replay of it. Was it contact with Conor Shanahan? It didn't appear to be, and I really would not like to see Dawid Sposób bow out with mechanical alone, because it's so harsh.
I don't think it was. I think it was mechanical failure for Sposób. You can see Shanahan happy. I think he knows.
I think the Irish fans definitely think that it was mechanical failure, but I think something broke on the back of Sposób's car. That's what happened there, and he was on one. He was on one up till there. Great line for Sposób. Watch the transition from Shanahan here. They're right close with him. As they transition back here, Sposób goes to go back on the power.
Nothing.
No power. Yeah, no power. Just car shut down. Well, I mean, that could be a lucky moment for Conor Shanahan. And maybe that's what you need to try and be champion at such a crazy championship, is a bit of luck. So it looks to me like there is definitely
the car shut down on him,
yep.
Dave. Oh, man, and you know what? For Sposób, this is even harder, because that car has been doing just the national championship, and, you know, it hasn't had a tough ride.
It's given up at the last hurdle here. And Dawid Sposób, he's all smiles still. I mean, this was just an occasion for him to come and show what he's all about. We'd love to see him back for a full season. But a big championship decision means Conor Shanahan goes through to the top 8. He is closer and closer to that championship.
Dave, I'm hearing in my ears right now that Shanahan has stepped into the Great 8, that stops Więcek in his tracks. Więcek cannot be the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship. The three-peat, Dave, is over.
But I'll tell you one thing, you can still win the biggest drift event of all time. And if you're Peter Więcek and you're in the radio, you're going, you know what? This is my hometown. These are my fans. This is where I want to win the big one. And if Więcek can get himself into the top 3, that would be incredible. Becky, Więcek now out of competition because Conor's through. He did it. He got through.
Yes, absolutely, Dave. Conor, another step closer. As you're looking around this stadium, how does it feel to you to know that you are getting closer and closer to that top spot?
I forgot about it all. I'm just having fun. I see Irish flags waving all over this stadium, and you guys are honestly incredible. That's what it's all about right now. We're doing something unique. We're driving in front of something what I could only imagine when I was a little kid, when I fell in love with this sport. So, you know what? Forget everything. Let the best man win. I'm enjoying it right now, and of course it's still there in the back of the mind, but anything can happen in these cars. It's the longest night of my life, to be honest with you, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to stay pushing, ready to stay focused, and let's keep fingers crossed.
Thank you, Conor. Well, there you have it. He's ready to push, and may the best man win. Back to you guys.
Well, that's what it's going to be all about. And now Peter Więcek mathematically can't win the championship.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, he could still win this event and still win. I mean, this event is sort of like a championship. Let's be honest, if he loses the championship but wins this event, that ain't a bad season. He'll probably finish top 3 in the championship as well. So he would have salvaged what looked like a really tough start to the year with an incredible finish. And Peter Więcek has got someone for company that has no problem smashing the car to pieces. He was on his roof twice and still made a qualifying run in Sweden. It's Ørjan Nilsen from Norway, and Ørjan Nilsen would love to put one over on Peter Więcek here. He would love to take down the 2-time champ in front of this many people and have a strong. Both of these guys haven't had the perfect season, but we know the talent, we know the experience, we know they want this podium. This is going to be tooth and nail.
It certainly is going to be tooth and nail. Slots the car into gear, and look at Ørjan Nilsen. Oh, he almost made contact on the start line. He's hungry for it, and like you say, would love to get one over on Peter Więcek at the final round and stop him from getting a podium here at the last round of the 2023 championship. They fire through the inside zone. Więcek absolutely flirts with the front bumper to the wall, and now lights it up. But look at Nilsen. He's on and off the throttle. He's gripped that car up to the max. He knows that Więcek's no one to be messed with, and there's a brave dive from Ørjan Nilsen. They get into that 5th outside zone, and they're door to door. And look at Nilsen. He's pushing Więcek across the line.
Oh, that's what we came to see. Wheel to wheel, door to door, flexing on the fiberglass. And I'll tell you one thing, Ian, as a fan, is there anything better than watching two drivers at the best they've ever been around this circuit? Więcek's lead run. Oh, that inner clip was just sensational. But Nilsen, you knew, he knows Więcek's fast, so he's gripped the car up. He's ready to go. Look at that orange chase, Sora rather, in the background every time he changes direction. Look at this. Look at that.
Wow.
Textbook. And you got to say, if it wasn't for a couple of mechanical failures this year for Peter Więcek, the story could have been very different. But you know what? He kept his resolve. He kept fighting. He kept battling. And the same with Ørjan Nilsen. If it wasn't for an engine failure, if it wasn't for, well, I was about to say rolling his car twice on his roof, and it didn't even stop him.
No.
People have had clutches go and missed qualifying sessions. He rolled the car on its roof twice, still made qualifying.
Still made qualifying, yeah.
I mean, this is the stories that we're creating across this championship are going to echo in the ages, and this could be another one. Here under the lights in Poland, Nilsen versus Więcek, and Więcek's got to go for it. He's got to turn the dial up. No more safe runs. This is going to be a lot to take down Nilsen.
Yeah, he wants it. He's going to need it. He's going to be hungry for it. Look at this as Nilsen puts the back end of that Sora into the wall. Now comes through those two inner zones, and he's looking hungry. Dials on big angle, tries to upset Peter Więcek, but it doesn't work. The Polish two-time champion knows all the tricks in the book as they fire through outside zone 4. Więcek's rubbing the door on the back bumper as they both stall up on the touch and go into outside zone 5. Nilsen not as deep, but Więcek painted all over the side of that Toyota Sora. This is history.
You know what? I've just overheard one of the judges. That might be one of the best lead-in chases we've ever seen in the championship. That was absolutely unbelievable. Peter Więcek's chase was just ridiculous, and Ørjan Nilsen's lead. That is, I don't even know what to describe. That is 100-100 there. Have a look at the replay, and you tell me that this isn't the best driving you've ever seen. And again, remember, two guys not in the championship, but definitely in the hunt for the podium tonight. But Więcek and Nilsen, that is just a proud moment for the whole sport to see that level of driving. Więcek's transitions didn't even make sense. Nilsen, there wasn't one bit of the wall he didn't touch. That was incredible, Ian. Absolutely incredible.
Just none of it made sense, Dave. None of it made sense.
Like emotionally as a fan, you never think it's going to get this good, and
No.
it's getting this good. Look at this. Więcek dives in on the first corner. Watch Nilsen's rear bumper. It's smashing the wall the whole way around. Then Więcek doesn't even cut up. He stays on it. Now watch these transitions. Boom. It's the second one for me. As he comes through, he goes to the inside wall. Look at the front of Więcek's car just after that. He touches the back of Nilsen's car, millimeters between them. Fires up on the inside. And Nilsen, perfect outer line. Więcek, perfect chase line. Flames erupting into the sky. Unbelievable stuff. Hard to see from the inside on this one, but on the outside, that was perfection. Look at these scenes. Up onto the door, look at this. And Ørjan gets, look, as the big dive from Nilsen, now he knows he needs to make the move, and he does. And look at this, Ørjan is perfect. Oh, that is unbelievable stuff. I mean, how do you describe this? Other than amazing, other than, there's no one, we've used all the words tonight. Tremendous, amazing.
I'm going to be out of words soon.
But who's going to go through to the top 8? It's a big decision, and it's Peter Więcek getting the win and going through to the top 8 as the CO2 cannons explode, and also the noise here in this stadium from the Polish fans. They want him on top step tonight. And you know what? Hard to argue against it. Kevin, again, another masterclass from both of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal driving by both of those guys there. And it really, for us, all comes down to that chase run. And look at that chase run from Peter Więcek. It was absolutely clinical. It was extreme proximity right from that initiation point, right on the door the whole way throughout. That was a masterclass chase run by Peter there. But that doesn't take away from the phenomenal driving of Ørjan Nilsen either. Really, really good driving by him. But Peter was just a better competitor at that time.
Well, there you have it. Peter Więcek moves through, and I think Becky is down with Peter Więcek in front of his home fans. Becky, he's into the top 8.
Absolutely. Peter, congratulations, you're into the top 8. This is a huge move for you this evening towards that top spot of the event. When you're doing that chase run, we were all just talking about how incredible it was, but do you even remember any of it? I feel like you're driving with emotion right now.
Thank you very much, but it was all thanks to Ørjan also lead run, so if not his lead run, it wouldn't be that easy, but yeah, it feels amazing to be in top 8, especially here. It's unbelievable. I'm speechless. I need to focus simply on the track because every time I look into the grandstands, I'm overwhelmed, so dziękuję bardzo, że jesteście tutaj z nami. Walczymy, jedziemy dalej!
Exactly what he said. Guys, back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, whatever he did say, he just blew the roof off this place, that's for sure.
I was just going to say.
And Peter Więcek all smiles as he heads back. I mean, he's, to me, looking like the strongest competitor right now. And again, he is the 2-time champ. Sure, it's not going to work for him this year, but could he win the big one? Could he win the big final? And then, not a bad season, right? Probably top 3 in the championship and the biggest event of the entire world. Get that one? It's not a bad consolation prize.
No, it's not, is it? Come on, let's be honest.
So here we go. Here's a battle you never thought would ever happen in drifting. Marko Zakouřil from the Czech Republic against Japanese champion Naoki Nakamura. Stranger things have happened in drifting. We got the fastest man on the track in Marko Zakouřil, and we got the craziest man on the track, Naoki Nakamura, whose car was in 2 pieces at the end of the top 32 battle. Looks like it's back together now. He's going to leave the rest of those pieces on the track. You can see the fans are ready for Naoki in the stands, ready to go. But this is going to be a good one. I can feel this is going to be a good one already. We know Naoki, he's now in the chase position to begin with. This is where he likes to be. He's going to be all over the doors of that black BMW M2. Zakouřil, he hasn't had the podium this year. Could this be the night? Czech Republic, Japan, get ready, here we go.
Yeah, here we go, Dave. Look at this from Zakouřil, though. He's high out the gate already, smoking the tyres, tries to upset Nakamura as Nakamura looks for the door of that BMW 2 Series. But look at Nakamura, he's hungry, he wants it, he's absolutely glued to the side, but he might have upset himself there on that transition, gets himself back into it, though, as Zakouřil shallows up the angle as he heads into outside zone 4. Nakamura glued to the door as Nakamura is taking no risks. He wants to seal the deal. He stalls up once again and he gets back into the fight as Zakouřil leads him into the final outside zone. Nakamura takes a dive to the door.
I love how Marko Zakouřil was Naoki Nakamura's brakes for half of that run. He just ran into him and said, oh, that's
constantly.
Yeah, there's the limit. I mean, he delivers every time, doesn't he, Nakamura? He came out there, he hit him, I think, 4 or 5 times on that run, Ian, and he was on the, look at this, hit, and Zakouřil's like, come on, buddy, just let me do a little bit of drifting here, let me get through the, and yeah, right, he messes up the transition a little bit. He's almost too boxed in his position, but he gets back on it again, and right here, watch how close he gets to Zakouřil here. He's up on the door, watch the front wheel just touch the door, just around about the end of this, look, poof, and then he goes again. Oh, beautiful shots. Look, hits him again. And then right here, look, hits him again. So 3 hits as they're coming out of the corner. Nakamura is completely on the wrong line. Transitions way too late, in my opinion. And then Zakouřil's like, will that guy just ever leave me alone? I just need to get a little bit of space out here. He gets that little bit of space. But look at the vision. The flames, the drone, the Nakamuras, the Zakouřils. Oh, just take a picture right now. That is drifting in Europe.
It's a movie.
2023.
It's a movie, Dave.
It's a movie.
That's what it is.
This is just unbelievable. And that drone pilot's in between the 2 cars right there.
That drone is vertical as well.
I think that drone would qualify pretty high if he was out there. And that drone is a big old drone, like it's a big camera.
Big drone,
yeah. So that's why you get such brilliant shots on your screens. And it's super hard to fly because it's heavy, but we have some of the best drone pilots at Red Bull TV, and they are just phenomenal. And you know what, I'd even ask them to stay back a little bit because I feel the second half of this one's going to get messy. As we now have got Marco Zakouřil in the chase, and he's going for it here. Zakouřil jumping off the line. He's not going to let, oh, looks to me like he is going to try and waver his way, and he goes in. A weird angle from Zakouřil in the chase, and Nakamura with not a lot of angle into that first corner. Nakamura coming out of that zone very early. He's very fast, Nakamura, but he's not on a lot of angle. Zakouřil almost smashes the front end off the car, off the inner zone. Back out we go. Big angle from Zakouřil to slow the car up as now we come across. This is where Zakouřil is going to make the move. It's a late move, and it says brave move from Zakouřil. Goes through, and look at this, Nakamura in the wall. Zakouřil in Nakamura, and how are they still going after that absolute slugfest is what that was.
That was a heavyweight contender boxing match. That's what that was.
There's no, look at the back end of Nakamura's. It's just...
That's had a hard year.
That's had a hard year. Zakouřil's transition, I mean, I felt at that point Nakamura's lead was a little sketchy. He might have backed off. Try explaining that to Marco Zakouřil. He went for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd love to see the replay so we could break this one down, because I think there was quite a lot to take from that. For me, Nakamura's lead wasn't the cleanest. You know, lead to lead, chase for chase. Zakouřil did what he could in the chase position, but for me, Nakamura made a lot of mistakes. It was out of some of the outside zones.
Well, you know what, the judges will always say you can't have a good chaser without a good lead run. Zakouřil had a better lead run, giving Nakamura all that opportunity, you know, to hit the door and keep it going. Maybe Zakouřil not getting as much of an opportunity. You know what? This is just awesome to see, though. Look at the mix of cultures on track in front of this record attendance. You just got to soak it in. It's just one of those nights for drifting that we never thought we'd see. And to see Nakamura and Zakouřil just on the track in general with CO2 cannons behind them, and we're 9 stories high, packed to the rafters here.
Yeah, I know. Unbelievable, Dave. I keep looking at them, but I'm quite blown away. I'm speechless for it. Yeah, look at this, replays back. You can look at Zakouřil closer to the wall than Nakamura on that inside clipping point. Didn't make any sense. Silly. But look at, you know, for me, Nakamura way out of that outside zone, shallow angle, not what the judges wanted to see. Did make a few mistakes, especially here in the center of the circuit on the transition, kind of stalled up.
Zakouřil's transition was good.
Yeah, he didn't swing it back, but Zakouřil dealt with it, you know, and he put the car right where it needed to be. I think this could land in the hands of Marco Zakouřil in for a great finish.
You know what, I'm inclined to agree unless there's something we didn't notice on those 2 runs, which of course happens quite a bit. We aren't the most eagle-eyed. We like the entertainment value, but we're trying to figure it out.
Big drift fans.
Big drift fans. Yeah. We're not drift judges, we're drift fans, just like you guys watching on. And who is going to go through to the top 8? The body language suggests Nakamura not so happy with that one. And it is going to be Marco Zakouřil getting the win, and you can see what it means to him. He hasn't had the results this year. He almost picked up Nakamura over his head. He was that excited. He was just, that's the thing. Nakamura, he's been an amazing addition to the championship. We never want to see him bow out of competition because you never know what he's going to do.
No, you don't.
I feel Marco Zakouřil deserved that turn of fortune. And I'm presuming the judges looking at Nakamura's lead, probably Kevin has a lot of mistakes from Nakamura. Yeah, so we're getting confirmation Nakamura just making a lot of mistakes here and there. Zakouřil a little smoother over the 2 runs, and that's all it takes. And then we will go to our next battle. This is the one I've been waiting for. You like V8s? You like V8s?
Yeah, I love them.
Do you like crazy people with V8s?
Yep, love that.
Would you like to see 2 of the craziest on the grid go head-to-head with the championship on the line?
Yep.
Well, you're going to see it because you've got Lauri Heinonen from Finland lining up against the man who took down Jack Shanahan. Now, think about this. If Steve Baggsy Biagioni takes out Lauri Heinonen, Conor Shanahan steps closer to one hand on the trophy. So now Heinenen's got to take down the man on form, Steve Baggsy Biagioni. If Heinonen wants this championship, if he wants it to be the perfect year, if he wants to be the guy, he has to go through the guy who is feeling it tonight, which is Steve Baggsy Biagioni. And let's be honest, these cars are pretty much the same horsepower, pretty much the same grip, pretty much the same setup. This is driver versus driver right here. And Baggsy, nothing to lose in the championship. Pressure off, everything's a bonus. Heinonen, everything to lose, all the pressure. But he's got the Finnish flags waving flat high in the stadium. The fans are ready to see if Heinonen can take it home for them. Finland have been stronger than any fan base this year, but they need it from Heinonen now.
They certainly do, and they're taking on a man that is world class. And wow, look at the initiation! from Baggsy, smashes Lauri Heinonen into the wall. Both cars lose body panels. Baggsy's hungry for this one as they fire through that front clipping point, and Baggsy has to shut it down.
He went too heavy. It's something broke on the back of Baggsy's car. I think he went in too heavy, but Heinonen absolutely, the rear end of Heinenen's car has disintegrated as well, but he is completing the run. And look at this, Lauri Heinonen again, no errors, no mistakes, no waivers. Is this the guy tonight?
He has to be the guy tonight. He has to be the guy. You get a hit like that into the wall and you continue to run. Lauri Heinonen is, I think he's unstoppable, Dave. I think Lauri Heinonen is unstoppable.
Yeah, we'll get a quick look at the replay, but it looked to me like maybe Baggsy came in a little too hot. Maybe came in a little too hot. We will look at the replay. Lauri Heinonen transitions into the first corner. Baggsy comes in on big angle. Lauri hits the wall. Baggsy hits the wall. Baggsy hits it heavier.
Yeah, Baggsy does. Baggsy hits the wall very heavy. Look at that bam. It almost straightens the front wheels completely.
Lauri Heinonen, we were like, both rear ends of the car didn't even make 40 feet of the corner. They were both gone. That's how heavy they're coming into that first corner. Look at the back ends of the car.
Both
wrecked.
cars wrecked.
But Baggsy shuts it down. That must have been the hit with the wall, maybe upset a fuel pump.
Yeah.
Some sort of, could have been anything in the back of the car just shut down. Maybe even just a bang unsettled some electronics in the car. You don't know. But it shut him down. Maybe it's a drive shaft, you just don't know. But he did keep going for a little bit after that, so I'm not sure. And the question is, can Baggsy continue? That's the question right now. I don't think Baggsy's going to be able to continue this.
No, I don't think he is, and that would give Lauri Heinonen a buy into the Great Eight, and that would then start to really get the. Well, I mean, there you go.
Even if the judges put blame on both drivers for hitting the wall, Baggsy now, can he make it back to the start line to even compete? That's the question.
Well, Lauri Heinenen's back on the start line, Dave. You can see him there. Oh, a shrug of the shoulders. The attitude from Lauri Heinonen is killer.
He just, and I'm going to translate that. He just said, and what?
And what?
And what?
So we tagged the wall, and you're worried?
He's like, no big deal. Now, for Baggsy, he's got his suit rolled down, which to me would suggest that the car is needing recovery. Yeah, so look, it's going to come back to the judges asserting fault to him. Because then the judges would have to say, who was at fault? Was it Heinonen or was it Baggsy? And if Baggsy's not at fault, he would get the time to fix the car. If Baggsy is deemed at fault, then he would be out of competition. That's how I see it, Ian. I've been around a while, but
you've been around a while, Dave.
That's what I think is going to happen here. So Baggsy's got to wait for the judging decision here, nothing else. Heinenen's back on the run. We're going to that hit on the first corner is going to be absolutely everything.
So I'm getting in my ears, Dave. Baggsy is out of competition. Baggsy bows out of competition.
He's out of competition, but is he the winner of the battle? That's the question.
This is the question now. This is where
out
it
of
comes
competition.
Down to.
You know what I mean? It's got to be asserting fault of who made the contact. So we've got to check that Baggsy's car sustained this damage from the accident.
I'm going to say, from the attitude of Baggsy, I get that feeling that Baggsy's deeming that Lauri Heinonen either slowed or did something.
Well, let's see what happened. As we go into that front, now Baggsy comes in very wild here. That's a wild initiation for Baggsy.
Yeah, but for me, Lauri Heinenen's not on throttle.
No, but I'm looking at Baggsy's front wheels, and it looks to me like he's four-wheel drifting into that first corner, which means he had, like, if you watch Baggsy's front wheels here, watch Heinonen goes in. To me, it looks like Baggsy gets all four wheels going. Look. Bit of understeer. But then
I don't know if Lauri's on throttle.
And then Lauri's in the wall too. Look, watch.
Yeah, I think Lauri's gone too hard on this as well. Watch the rear wheels of Lauri Heinenen's car. You're not going to be able to see him now.
Well, we kind of... Oh, it's very hard to say.
I think Lauri went in hot as well, and I think Lauri knew he was going in. Baggsy matched the speed, and I think they both made contact.
I think, to be honest, regardless of what way the judges look at it, I think Baggsy leaves it very knife edge and late to initiate in the first place, so he has nowhere to back out of that.
But Lauri's already in the wall at that point.
But he's still moving, so it's hard to know.
So I'm hearing through my headset now that the Baggsy, unfortunately, having some mechanical problems with the car. The car can't be driven off circuit. So unfortunately, Baggsy will have to be recovered off the track. That will be the end of the weekend.
Judges are having a good old discussion on this.
I mean, this now comes down to judging, because if they deem Lauri Heinonen at fault, Baggsy gets the win but isn't able to move through. That means Lauri Heinonen bows out of competition in top 16. Does that secure the championship for Conor Shanahan?
Yeah, this is the question, and I think, you know, this is a pivotal moment in the championship right now, whatever way the judges go. But it looks to me like Baggsy has said it's a drivetrain issue with the car. So we've heard that back from the marshals. It's a drive shaft or a diff or something like that. That's taken a hit from the wall. The car cannot move. However, asserting fault to that was that Lauri Heinonen or Baggsy's mistake that caused, it's definitely from the hit with the wall, we know that. So it's hard to know. I'll tell you what, it's heated up here in the judging tower. They're having a good old debate about this one, and it's going to be
discussion going on.
Yeah, Lauri Heinen's gone back to the start line. Baggsy cannot continue right now. So while the judges debate this one, I have a feeling it's going to be a very tough decision. And I mean, we can all have our opinions. Opinions are easy to have, but decisions are hard to make. You know, everyone has an opinion on who wins, who loses, but the judges actually make that decision. It affects people. There's a consequence, so they take their time to make sure that they're happy with the decision. And as a subjective sport, that's what it's all about, Ian. It's about just making the decision you feel comfortable with as a judge. And a lot of Finnish fans have really gone silent here in the stadium.
Yeah, it's got very quiet. Very
really, and again, I do think Lauri made a mistake. He went into the wall. Baggsy, I feel, also made a mistake. The two of the guys went in a little too hot. The judges are going to make a decision on it. And we got some stunt bikes out here in the meantime. Look at that. Is he riding that bike with his foot?
With his foot, yeah.
Yeah.
He's very talented.
He's out there showing Baggsy going. You can have my bike if you want. If you want to go to the battle, you can go out there on this. This is amazing. Just this, look, the sideshow acts here are like full, crazy, full-time acts at any other event, right? Look at this. These guys are amazing. So we are going to get the official decision from our judges. And Baggsy being recovered from the circuit. I think it's just going to be a drivetrain failure for Steve Baggsy Biagioni. And you know what? He even if he did bow out at this point, Ian, I feel like beating Jack Shanahan on this stage, he had a good night either way. You know, I mean, it's not like he came up and flopped. He came up here and showed exactly what he's all about.
Yeah, 100%. Look, he's had a whole year out for the Drift Masters European Championship. He made a return to the final round, you know. He said, if I'm going to come back, I want to do it at the biggest round.
I'll tell you one thing, Lauri Heinonen right now thinks he's won this. You can see by the body language, he's focused, he's confident. We don't know the official decision just yet, but I'll tell you one thing, and either of the drivers, but Lauri Heinonen, I think, believes that he's done the job here. He believes that Baggsy hit him and he hit the wall, and therefore it's Baggsy's fault. That's what he believes. And it's very unusual for drivers to be biased towards themselves. Very unusual.
Oh, yeah, no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
They would never be that way. So we have Baggsy being recovered from the track right now.
Still a discussion going on with the judges, Dave. This isn't done and dusted just yet, I don't think.
So I'm going to actually talk to Kevin O'Connell here, because Kevin, this is not going to come down to a judging decision, because there's still one run left. So which driver has been asserted, which fault of the driver? So both guys go on the wall. Who did you blame for that incident?
Well, first, Dave, actually, we have to determine, was the mechanical failure from Baggsy actually caused by the contact from the both drivers? And we have about 8 different camera angles here, and what we were trying to determine was the driveline failure or the mechanical issue of Baggsy caused by this impact here? We've trawled through every single camera angle, and because Baggsy continues the run afterwards, and we actually did get word from Baggsy himself to say that it was an unrelated failure, we have determined that it was of no cause. So therefore, it doesn't really matter about the contact in the end of it. What we have to say is that Baggsy got an incomplete, he stopped driving, and therefore all Lauri has to do is finish off the run.
Well, there you have it, Ian.
Well, there you go.
We were in a different country with our assumption, and we just came all the way back to the stadium, and there you go. Didn't matter who was at fault. You can discuss that amongst yourselves at home. It doesn't matter, because Lauri Heinonen made it back to the start line, and because Baggsy continued half a lap without the driveline failure, therefore the proof isn't there that caused it.
No.
Judges can only go by what they see, and therefore Lauri Heinonen is going to, with half a car, go into the top 8 and stay in the championship fight. What a night of drama, Ian. What a night of drama.
Well, we said it was going to be fireworks, and we said it was going to be drama. The Finnish fans are now finally happy once again. They're shouting and cheering. The British flag's still flying, but unfortunately the only Englishman in competition is out, and Lauri Heinonen now just has to initiate and make it around that first corner, which he has done, but he's going to put on a show. He's going to test the car out. Did have contact with the wall. He did make contact with Baggsy, so he's going to want to test it to make sure it is 110%. And Lauri Heinonen takes
I think the Finnish fans in here are starting to figure this one out for themselves, because Lauri's still on the track, Baggsy isn't. He's done the wildest 360 I've ever seen after the finish line. What a showman. Lauri Heinonen, he could do this. He could do this tonight. I know he's coming in second place. Conor Shannon's still in the competition, but it's coming down to the wire here. Heinonen would go through to the top 8. Baggsy would go out of competition. That's what we're hearing. I think that's what the official decision will be. But, I mean, Lauri Heinenen's car is absolutely, look, this is the good side, right? This is the good side of Lauri Heinenen's car. Go around to the other side, and you're going to go, well, I'll tell you what, it's not as good on that side. There is no rear end on that side. To make it official, look at Lauri Heinen. He's locked in. He's starting to believe, and he should do, because he is into the top 8. Lauri Heinen gets the win. The Finnish fans go crazy in the stadium, and they know they've still got 2 chances.
2 chances.
Still have 2 chances to be champion. Juha, Rintanen and Lauri Heinen both still in competition. Ireland, all the chances rely on Conor, Shanahan. And that is our 3 drivers remaining in this hunt. 1 Irishman, 2 Finnish, and all the marbles on the line. No, you couldn't write it.
You couldn't write it, Dave.
And now we've got 2 guys that are going to go here, and these have been 2 of the most impressive drivers all the way through top 32. Arne Kvia from Norway, Jakub Król from Poland. And Lauri Heinen still on the finish line right now. And they need to just remove Lauri off the track, and he's left a lot of his car on the track as well. And Lauri will go back and try and find the 17 bits of car he left in that wall. It looks like a buggy at this point, his car. It's crazy. But we are going to see Jakub Król in the lead position, Arne Kvia in the chase. Kvia in as a wild card from Norway. And we have got Jakub Król in the lead position. Jakub Król is ready to go, and the Polish fans are behind him as well. He has been phenomenal in qualifying and in 32. Ian, this could be the night we see someone come out of nowhere and take the win.
I've got a lot of chips stacked on Kvia right now. Kvia looks untouchable. He's very strong. He's looking good. He's comfortable in the car. But Jakub Król was making those dives across the circuit earlier on, Dave, that were raising a few eyebrows. Everybody kind of looked across to Jakub Król and said, well, potentially he could be a man this weekend that could be on the podium. But now 2 men sit on the line who are ready to do battle, who are both hungry for a podium spot this weekend. Kvia back for Germany, a wildcard driver, back for Poland as a wildcard driver. He would love nothing more than to be a wildcard driver in the Great 8 right now. And Kvia, look at this straight line initiation in, up into the door of Paweł, of Jakub Król's BMW as they fire through that inner clip. Kvia looks for the door, gets lost in the smoke as Król goes very wide. Wavers and wanders though in the midsection of outside zone 4. And look at Kvia tucked up on the inside, gets lost in the smoke, goes to make a dive, but holds back ever so slightly. Król goes into the wall, takes the back end off as Kvia places himself on the front wheel.
Are you serious right now? Can we not get a break?
I think so.
Can we not get a battle where just it isn't chaos? We either get unbelievable driving or a massive crash or something dramatic or the championship on the line. We've been here all day. It never stops. It's relentless.
Yep.
We're not even halfway through the top 16 yet.
No.
We have got, to me, these guys are dialed in. Let's be honest. Everyone is dialed in.
They're absolutely on form, Dave. Everyone is on form.
Like, what does Król have to do here? Kvia, look at this. Look at the shots. Like, he's a little aggressive at times, but he makes it work. He's on the door.
I was going to say, he makes it work though, Dave. Do you know what, for me, the highlight moment of that battle was where Kvia knew that Król was going to go deep into outside zone 5, and he slowed the car down and waited for him to hit the wall and then jumped on the door.
Look at the 2 front wheels. Look how close these guys are getting through the center section of the course. Flames, smoke. If you're a petrol head, what more do you want than this? It's almost nonsensical, the whole situation here, but we're just going to go along with it. We've all accepted here in the stadium that this is normal, relax, this is fine. We're just going to go ahead, and you can see Jakub Król, he's getting the cable tie treatment from Marcin, our start line marshal. And there's not much left at the back or front of any of these cars right now. The show and shine would be pretty poor. The quality would be pretty poor. Everything is broken, but Jakub Król doesn't care if the car comes back on 2 wheels if he wins this battle. He wants to go to that top 8, and now he's got to put it on. Now, Król's been in the game with Kvia. He knows how good Kvia is. He knows Kvia is going to put in a storm over lead run. I think that's going to play into an advantage for Król, because he's going to go, I know Kvia is going to nail this. I can go as close as I want.
I think that's going to be the tail of the tape for this one. I think Król knows he can trust Kvia. He's going to push hard, and he knows he can park the front wheel onto the door the whole way around, because Kvia won't make a mistake in the lead position.
But I did say that Lauri Heinen doesn't make any mistakes, and he went in the wall. So anyway, we'll pretend we know what's going on. We'll pretend we know what's going on, because we really don't. But in predictions, yes. If you're looking at form, yes. If you're looking at, you know, lead runs, qualifying runs, Kvia has been on it. Probably one of the best lead drivers we have here this weekend. Król's going to have to go for it. And again, now Kvia's done the damage. He's been in the chase position. He's looked sensational. Krol's got to pull something out from somewhere here, Ian. He's got to do something he's not comfortable with. He's got to go to 110%. He's got to risk the car.
He certainly has got to risk the car. He's got to put it all on the line, but Kvia's going to also put it all on the line. And look at this, Kvia's up and gone. He's hungry. He's flat out as Kvia goes for a nice little feint initiation, and Kvia starts to drive away. Król is absolutely lost in a cloud of smoke, and Król knows he needs to find some proximity, whether he shortcuts the circuit or makes a huge dive, and he's going to go for a big dive on outside zone 4. And Kvia, look, shallow in the outside zone, trying to get away, trying to put some distance between him and the Polish driver, as Król now dives up onto the door in outside zone 5. Jakub Król wants it. He wants that podium spot, but Kvia's not going to make it easy.
Come on. How are you supposed to judge that?
I don't have to judge it.
You don't have to judge it.
I just get to watch it as a fan.
Kvia's car still, you know, the rear end saying, do I really have to keep going around here? I feel there's not enough in structural integrity in the back of this car. I shouldn't be here. Again, Król stepped it up.
Yeah, he did.
I think the initiation, he let him go a little bit. The first corner for me was the only bit where I was like, oh, he's playing a bit of catch-up here. He's let Kvia get in a little too ahead of him. But once he caught up, and it was just around about here, he does cut the track Król quite a bit.
Yeah, he did.
To get back in the fight. And once he gets back in the fight, he's pretty good. But another stormer of a lead run from Kvia. And Król does really well from here. It's expert from here. Like from right about here, this is a beautiful chase run from Jakub Król.
I think it's all going to come down to the first half of the run, to be fair. I feel the judges are going to lean heavily on that area where Jakub Król didn't really force any kind of proximity onto Kvia.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the scenes. Who put these cameras on the ground as well?
They don't even tell us anymore. They just show us.
They're pretty expensive cameras. Yeah. I wouldn't put them there.
No.
And they decided this is a good space. We'll put them in. Again, every shot we see from this track, look at the flames firing up in the background. This is what drifting should be. A show, an entertainment product, flames, tire smoke, crashes, walls, screams, cheers, 23 nations, and 55,000 people 9 stories high. That's drifting in 2023 at Drift Masters. And these two guys showing us why we have such a talented roster of drivers. And we have the pleasure of being with them for 6 rounds around Europe, watching their form, watching the team grow, watching their confidence grow, and on the biggest stage of them all, well, every one of them is delivered as far as I'm concerned. But who's going to go through to the top 8? Will it be Tor Arne Kvia? You can see how much this would mean to him. You can see how much it would mean to Jakub Król. They are very nervous. Who's going to go through? Oh, it's Tor Arne Kvia gets the win. Kvia gets the win. It was a split decision. Kvia gets the win and goes through to the top 8. You can see what it means to him. And Tor Arne Kvia, the emotions pouring out of the Norwegian, who's usually quite calm.
Yep, reserved.
You can see how much it means to him and his family and friends who are here in attendance. Becky is down with Tor. Becky, what a victory for him tonight.
An incredible victory, yes, Dave. Tor, we were watching that chase run. My goodness, when Jakub came into outer zone 5, were you just waiting for that contact? We saw you hold back a little bit. What was going on through your mind?
To be honest, in front of all these people, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just driving on my pure intention, and what a fucking crowd. It's amazing, this place, and I just want to go to the final, to be up there celebrating with my Norwegian fans. Thank you for coming. Amazing show.
Well, there you have it, guys. Congratulations. You're through to the top 8, Tor.
Thanks, Becky. And yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, about Tor Arne Kvia's excitement there during that interview.
I'd be excited too.
There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of pressure. Everyone's feeling the heat of the moment right here in Poland.
You know what? At this stage of the game, we'll allow it. At this stage of the game, can we allow it? I can allow some emotion. Look at this place. Look at this place. All it is emotion. So we have got a beautiful top 8 ahead of us. Top 8's being decided. 8 drivers. You can see that Tor Arne Kvia, a big pixelated head in the middle of the grandstand, showing that his support for him. At this moment in time, not a seat in the place is empty. There's few people gone to the bar. I know that because there is a break for a few minutes, but they're having fun here. We're having fun. What a night for drifting, Ian. And I'll tell you one thing, it's 8 drivers remaining. I'll tell you, I got a little bit of math in my ear.
Oh, go on.
You ready?
Go on then, tell me.
So if Conor Shanahan wins his top 8 battle, Rintanen's out, and then it is just Lauri and Shanahan. 2 remain. But of course, if Lauri loses, Shanahan wins the championship. So this is what it's all down to.
I can't handle it. I'm going for a stiff drink, Dave. I'll see you back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the biggest drift event in the history of the world. Live here in the center of the capital city of Warsaw in Poland, the PGA Narodowe, with every seat sold, 53,000 fans here to see who will be crowned the 2023 Drift Masters European Champion. The biggest night in over 30 years of the sport on a track that didn't exist 72 hours ago and won't in 36 hours time. This is as big as it gets, and this is for all the marbles. My name's Dave Egan. I'll be talking you through all the action in the finals, in the top 8, and I'm joined by my good friend Ian Waddington. Ian, what a night it's been already, but the fireworks are just about to begin.
Yeah, it's been an incredible night already, Dave, and the fireworks have started. Let's take a look at the calendar so far from 2023. Round 1, we see Peter Więcek, the Polish two-time champion, back on form, back in the business. Round 2, though, went to the winner, Juha Rintanen. Finland stood up. We went to round 3 in Finland, where we thought a Finnish driver might take it, but it went to Conor Shanahan. Then we went to Riga, baby, for round 4, where Jack Shanahan was crowned the king of Riga. And in round 5, just a few weeks ago, Więcek back on form, top step of the podium. What can happen tonight? Who knows, Dave?
Well, there's the man. Everyone has a target on their back, and right now there's only 2 drivers that can unhinge his championship hopes. Conor Shanahan right now sitting in first place. Lauri Heinonen in second place with a very close margin right now. Jack Shanahan, although he's in third right now, out of competition. Juha Rintanen still in competition, and Peter Więcek out. So what you're looking at here is Conor Shanahan, Lauri Heinonen, and Juha Rintanen left to finish. 1 Irish, 1 championship. That's where things are at right now. But what happened so far today, we had Dwayne McKeever sitting in 6th position in the championship. He had a drive shaft failure, out of competition. Jack Shanahan looked like he might have taken it all the way to the final, over-rotates, hits Steve Baggsy Biagioni, and he's out of competition. Juha Rintanen, though, cool as a cucumber, firing through the 32, firing through the 16, and now onto the top 8. Looks like he's ready for the fight. Conor Shanahan had to go up against wildcard Dawid Sposób. Very tough battle. Sposob's car shutting down, and Shanahan getting the job done. More points on the board. Więcek and Ørjan Nilsen, battle of the night so far tonight. Więcek with a masterclass in chase driving, but he is in also to the top 8. He may not have the championship in his sights, but he has got the top step of the podium tonight and the biggest drift win in his career. Lauri Heinonen losing every panel off the back bumper on this car, and back windows, everything gone, because that Finnish driver will now go head-to-head with countryman Juha Rintanen and Conor Shanahan. And the nerves in the Irish fans and Finnish fans right now, the tension in the air, and also the excitement of 53,000 people all here watching on. This is the big one, and this is the track. It's a custom-built circuit. It looks like an 8, but it's 8 many cars this weekend. As you go into that first corner, flying into outer zone 1, you have to go all the way to the wall, flexing the back bumper. Then it's an inner zone here for inner zone 2. Transition, where is it? It's on a concrete wall. Front bumper to the wall, inner zone 3. Transition back out to outer zone 4. Keep that rear end in those outside white lines all the way around. There's a little box. Watch it in the center. That's a touch and go. Got to get the rear wheels through that. Transition back. This is the scary part. Back onto the wall for outer zone 5, outer zone 6. And if you get through all that, you've survived a lap of the PGA Narodowe. Many haven't, some have. 8 have been great, and they're in the grade 8. Ian, this is a monumental night for drifting, record-breaking. And as you can see, the sights and sounds, 57 drivers down to 8, and these are all finals.
They are all finals. Every single battle from top 32 has been a final. But now look at this. Korpuliński, the man that got a bye run all the way through to the Great 8, takes on Juha Rintanen. Conor Shanahan takes on Diogo Correia. A Correia that's on form. He's here for one of the last podiums, one of the last trophies of the weekend, of the year, in fact. Zakouřil takes on Więcek. That one's been boiling away in the background for a few months now. And Lauri Heinonen, well, he gets to take on Kvia. Kvia, could he be the man to stop Lauri Heinonen and give Conor Shanahan the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship? We're about to find out. We can see cars ready to grid, ready to go on circuit. Dave, this is it. It's time for the top 16.
Well, this is it, the big one. 20 years of drifting in Europe, starting with 100 spectators. 20 years later, 53,000. Think of the numbers, 57 drivers whittled down to just 8. And those 8 represent 3 of our championship contenders. Conor Shanahan will be out in front. But right now on track, we have got Juha Rintanen. Rintanen's still in the fight. He has to win this battle, or he is out of competition, because Shanahan still has more points. So he's got to keep going here, Rintanen. He's got to keep taking people down. But he's up against Paweł Korpuliński, who has had a free ride from 32 all the way to top 8 because his competitors didn't make it. Korpuliński untested tonight, but that also means danger for Juha Rintanen. His spotters, his team, have no idea what Korpuliński is going to pull out of the bag here.
This is a nervous time for Juha Rintanen, because he's going up a man that's on form, loves these circuits, he's in his hometown, he's a Polishman, he's got every single member of the public in the crowd screaming his name, waving the Polish flag. He's got the support. There's a lot of Finnish fans in the crowd, but nowhere near as many Polish.
Well, this is it. Juha Rintanen has got to be on it here. I mean, this is the thing. He's been playing the safe game up to here. That's not going to work anymore. He's got to take a risk if he's going to take down Korpuliński, because Korpuliński will take that risk.
He will take that risk. And you know what? I think the Shanahans right now are counting on Korpuliński for once to take out Juha Rintanen, to secure the deal, to make it safer as we move through. There are just 8 spots here. And by the end of this Great 8, there will be 4 drivers, and we will almost be decided with our 2023 championship. Korpuliński in the car, thumbs up to the camera. He's ready to do business. Juha Rintanen, though, you said it, Dave, he's cooler than the other side of the pillow. Can he keep his cool? Can he keep it collected? He now needs to go to a place where he's uncomfortable. He needs to push himself and the car.
This has got to be it for Juha Rintanen as they come off the line through the gears. The flames erupt up into the grandstands as Korpuliński fires in. Late initiation from Rintanen, as now he starts to reel in Korpuliński. Korpuliński absolutely dialed on that lead run, goes close to the wall. Rintanen fires through, has to start making the move now as Rintanen reels in the Polish driver as the flames shoot into the grandstands. Korpuliński, this is the dangerous part. Rintanen got a dive across the track, big dive from Rintanen, got all the pace, all up onto the door, and all up in his business. Korpuliński is perfect, Rintanen's perfect, no separation.
Wow. Rintanen is on rails. Rintanen looks laser focused. He doesn't look like he could put a foot wrong today.
Those are some sunglasses I just saw right there in the car. That was unbelievable. I'll tell you what, goosebumps. Just watching these guys do what they do. This track is tough, it's demanding, no mistakes, there's no runoff. Put a wheel off, that's your car, and look at these guys going door to door.
For me, I think Juha Rintanen could have had a little bit better proximity here and there, but I am splitting hairs, and we have to split hairs when we're this far into competition, this far into a championship, when we expect these guys to be flawless. Juha Rintanen did an incredible job, and I think he made the dives at the right time. But for me, Korpuliński's lead run was absolutely textbook.
It was, you know, he could have stayed a little bit later in the zones, Korpuliński here. Now that dive from Juha Rintanen, I mean, that's the wow factor. You know, the judges want to see it. That's the wow factor. Rintanen knew up to that point he had an okay chase. If he wanted to have a good chase, he needed to go for the dive. He needed to take the risk, pulled it off. He's still very much in this fight. Halfway through this battle, it's even Stevens for me.
I'm just absorbing the view, Dave. I'm just absorbing the view, looking at this. Look at Korpuliński on full tilt coming through the outside zone, the fire in the background. The brand new GR86 from Rintanen just looking so dialed and so good on circuit.
And so battered after 5 rounds. That was a very nice clean car a couple of months ago. Now it's seen some action. But they've got all the off-season to fix these cars. That's the thing. They got 6 months of a break. They will strip them all down, nut and bolt, put them all back together again. So a little bit of damage or a lot of damage makes no odds at this point in the competition. So they're going to risk it all. Juha Rintanen in the lead position. As you can see, this is where you'll have a pace advantage, I think, for me. Korpuliński's fast, though, but Rintanen's car is very fast. Can he use that to his advantage, or will Korpuliński have an answer to every question here tonight? This is for a space in the semi-final, the top 4. Rintanen in the lead, Korpuliński in the chase. Look at Korpuliński, almost takes the front off his car, Rintanen. As they go into the wall, Rintanen tags the wall, Korpuliński right up on his bumper as Rintanen now uses that pace to get through. Korpuliński makes a brave dive, but not as close as we expected. Now he starts to turn the screw as Korpuliński gets up onto the door. Rintanen wide on the outside, Korpuliński up on the door. The transition's got to be brave from Korpuliński. It's not as brave as Rintanen's. Now it is, up onto the door, up onto the wheel. Wow, this stuff is incredible. What a run from Rintanen and Korpuliński.
That is phenomenal. For me, that chase from Korpuliński was unbelievable. He went to a place where he wasn't comfortable on some of those transitions. He made the dives, he made it work. It was a nice lead run, but there was a few mistakes in there for me from Juha Rintanen. He tagged the wall on outside zone 1. He was shallow on a couple of outside zones 2. I think there was a couple of errors. I think he's feeling the pressure, Dave. I think he's feeling the weight of the situation on his shoulders right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, our voice is already starting to go here from how much action from the first battle of the top 32. It has been relentless tonight. Constant entertainment, constant drama, and then Juha Rintanen waits for the most important decision of his drift career. A win, and he's still in with an outside chance. A lose, and he's out of contention. He will not be in the fight for the 2023 championship. And the Finnish fans have 2 horses in the race right now. Heinonen and Rintanen. Poland have got plenty for tonight, but none of the championship. And Ireland has Conor Shanahan. Look at the flames erupting from Juha Rintanen's car. How cool is that?
Oh, that contact was bad. That contact was way worse than what it looked like. Watch this, watch the steering wheel as he tags the wall. Oh, you missed it on that one. You could see it upset the front wheels quite bad. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing, look at the scenes. Just look at the scenes. have you ever seen anything like that in drifting?
You're very excited.
I am very excited.
Like, woo, woo.
But look,
wait till the
flames,
end. Wait till the end.
There's fireworks, there's cars.
Wait till the
what
end
do you
of the
want?
show. Here we go, decision.
We got big decision in. And it's not decided. It's a one more time between Paweł Korpuliński and Juha Rintanen. I'm going to go to you, Kevin. So no separating the drivers on that one.
No, an extremely good battle there, Dave. And if you really break it down and you look at lead to lead and chase to chase, you look at both lead runs, and I think Juha had a slightly better lead run overall, probably getting onto that qualifying line a little bit better over the course of the run. But then you look at the chase runs, and Korpuliński overall, I think, having a slightly better chase run. Flashes of brilliance by both drivers on it, and it would be just far too close to call. We'd have to see that go one more time.
Well, there you have it. No separate. Juha Rintanen. I mean, the nerves continue. He's got to go back at it again, and here comes another big battle. Oh, they just keep coming. Conor Shanahan.
I was hoping for a break.
Yeah, there ain't no breaks coming. Not for us, not for you guys, not for anyone. It is
have
all the
another
way to the top of the step of the podium now. Conor Shanahan, can he get the championship? Well, he has to do it again against Correia. Correia's on form. This is the guy for me that could unstick Conor Shanahan. Correia is that kind of driver. He's been on form all day. The Portuguese man has nothing to lose here and all to gain. The Portuguese fans in the grandstand are ready to rock and roll as Conor Shanahan sits in the lead position as the higher qualifier, but Correia is pumped for this. He would love to take down Conor Shanahan. He would love to make a statement here. He's already been on the podium. Conor Shanahan's been on the podium. Conor Shanahan's thinking about that championship. Here we go. Championship on the line. Conor Shanahan, Diogo Correia, into that first corner they go.
Oh, look at this from Shanahan. He's already pedaling the car. He's very, very angry, and he fires that car in, and Correia is right with him, though. It looked like Correia was going to lose some ground, but no hope for Shanahan. Correia making brave transitions as he fires that car across the circuit. Shanahan's on a flyer. Correia hits the wall, upsets the line. Shanahan looking dialed as they look for that touch and go. Oh, Correia with a big brake transition, but it doesn't pay off. Shanahan tags the wall. This is messy towards the end, but Shanahan looking stronger.
What's going on? I mean, from where my perspective was moves in there I haven't seen all night. Correia, I don't know what sort of a transition he attempted. Then Shanahan goes, I'm just so sick. And then he hits the wall as well. And you got to think about it with Shanahan, every time he hits the wall, his rear wheel is so close.
So close.
to the
Danger.
back. It's dangerous to the back of that corner. This is just phenomenal. Correia with the brave moves in the chase position. Conor Shanahan has had a tough night of it all the way through tonight. No one is backing down. Conor Shanahan threw that inner zone. Look at Correia, look at the transition. Oh, come on. That is phenomenal from Diogo Correia. Running a Mercedes 3.2 turbo with 850 horsepower in a BMW. And look, Correia hits the wall hard though.
Yeah,
big mistake from Correia. Takes the back end up. Now what happens here is Correia comes through the smoke.
I think Correia goes for a big wide flick and it just doesn't pay off. He doesn't realise where Conor is on the transition.
I think he gets a little lost in the smoke there.
Oh, that's weird on the wall.
Bumpers, tail lights, rubber everywhere. And yeah, you can see Conor actually hits the wall with the rear wheel. So to me, it looks like the bigger mistake with Diogo Correia, hitting the wall really hard. And look at the bump, look at the scenes. Bumpers flying off the car, LEDs, flames in the sky, fans cheering on.
This is insane.
This is drifting in 2023, folks. This is drifting in 2023. Undeniable. It just looks like a photo that's slightly moving.
Yeah, it does.
It's just crazy.
It looks like someone's photoshopped it.
Yeah, look
at all the people, all the way up, top to bottom.
Nine stories of audience.
Not a seat missing.
On a night like tonight, good thing we got the masking tape, because the masking tape is out to keep Correia's back end of the car together. Now, Shanahan, I think he's going to know. His spotter, his radio, his team are going to. Jack Shanahan has now stepped into the position of spotter for Conor Shanahan, and he's told him Correia's made a mistake. He's hit the wall, but don't go too easy. Don't go too easy, because you never know what's going to happen. We've seen a lot of.
Where's the line though? Where's the line?
You leave it too much,
yeah,
and then it's one more time. So Shanahan has to put some pressure.
You push too hard, you make contact.
Yeah, he has to put some pressure. I don't know what way he's going to approach it, but we're about to find out. We don't know. We just watch on in disbelief every run tonight as Correia in the lead position, Shanahan in the chase position. Correia with that big flick into that first corner. Shanahan fires in. Look at Correia going right to the wall and Shanahan right to the door. Look at this. Just impeccable driving from Correia and Shanahan as they transition through. And now Shanahan jumps up onto the door. Correia can't make the same mistake as and doesn't. Gets a perfect run in the lead. This is unbelievable from Diogo Correia on the outside run. Missing a little bit of that touch and go. Shanahan now starts to reel in the Portuguese driver. Oh, big angle and a touch with the wall from Correia. Shanahan so calculated up onto the door. Exclamation point, unbelievable.
Just breathtaking. The chase from Conor was just flawless.
We are watching the best of the best in the prime of their career right now. And it's a joy to watch. We're almost being numbed to how phenomenal it is what we're watching here, because everybody is on it.
There isn't a run that goes by, and unless it's a mechanical failure, there isn't a run that goes by and I think this is going to be a tame run. Every run is final.
I can't believe there's still 4 taillights in both cars after all the runs we've seen tonight. Look at this. Correia's entry on big angle to the wall, and then Shanahan just follows him in right up onto the door. He's watching Correia. Correia's watching the wall. Look at the two of them flying through those inner zones. Transition from Shanahan's great. This is where, look, Correia's bashing the wall. Shanahan's bashing the door. Like, what more do you want?
I just wanted to keep going all night. Just keep doing this constantly. Run off.
Well, we have to find a winner. It has to be a driver going into the top 4 at some point. And will it be Correia? Will it be Conor Shanahan? Judges' decisions are dropping in. This is a big one. Big decision for the championship. Look at the eyes of Conor Shanahan. Look at the eyes of Diogo Correia. It's Conor Shanahan. He's into the top 4. Conor Shanahan is into the top 4, and he's very close now.
News.
Very close.
I've got news, Dave. I've got news in my ears. Now Conor Shanahan has made it into the final 4. Juha Rintanen can no longer win the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship. Conor and Lauri Heinonen now go at it head to head.
And then there were 2. Finland versus Ireland. Conor Shanahan, Lauri Heinonen left in the competition. Well, I'll tell you what, we are in for a finish. And I mean that with all pun intended. Conor Shanahan, look at the relief. Look at the relief in his eyes. You can tell the dream since he was a kid is starting to become a reality. The same for Lauri Heinonen. And the Irish fans and the Finnish fans are lifting the roof off this place right now, Ian.
Even better than that, Dave. The only place that Conor and Lauri can meet is in the final.
Well, I don't even want to look that far ahead because I don't
No.
have the emotional distress and level. And here we are, Peter Więcek. He could just upset the apple cart, beat them all. So could Marco Zakouřil. We don't know what's going to happen. Who wants to win the biggest event of all time? Well, Więcek does, Zakouřil does, and we got the 2 fastest men on the grid in the one battle in our top 8.
Yeah, here we go. This is it. We've got one person in the final 4. Who will be the next person to take a step into that final 4? Marco Zakouřil in 2019 was so close to taking a step into a final 4, into a spot where he could achieve a podium, but he was denied it. And ever since then, Zakouřil, the guy from the Czech Republic, has been battling hard. He's been driving harder to try and get back into that. And he would love nothing more than this evening to beat Peter Więcek for a spot. And he was the higher qualifier. Zakouřil fires in, Więcek onto the door, and now we start to feel the pressure. Final battle after final battle, and Zakouřil fires through. Doesn't even make sense what Więcek just done, but look at this, both bumpers, both rear ends tucked into the wall. Oh, and some separation. It's broken the front wheel. Więcek snaps the front wheel on the car and puts it into the wall. Zakouřil drives away. Nothing makes sense. Rip the book up. It's done.
What happened? How? That's it. He broke the front wheel. You could see it, clear as day. Oh, that is unbelievable. Is Zakouřil's car still in one piece? No, obviously there's a lot of tape. But what I'm saying is that, like, there's a lot of tape going on there. So this was Więcek.
I think
was he too aggressive?
I think Więcek hit the rear wheel of Zakouřil's car. That's the only explanation.
You could see it instantly, the wobble on the front. He broke his suspension arm.
Look at the paint on the rear wheel of Zakouřil's car.
You can
he
see
hit the rear wheel. Watch this.
Now let's see what happens.
Comes in.
They're on the edge of the zone. Więcek in the chase. Right, this is the transition inner zone 1. Now here we get. Więcek is phenomenal up to here, but does he get too greedy? Watch the inside of the car. Oh,
bang! Bang! Look at that understeer, he knows the wheel.
Yeah, he knows the wheel's broken.
Watch,
he comes
watch
through.
this.
Yeah,
it's the front wheel.
It's the front wheel. Watch the front wheel of Więcek's car. Look at the wobble. There, look at the wobble. It's gone. Suspension gone on the front of the car, which means that there won't be a second run if it is Więcek's fault. You're going to see it absolutely perfectly here. Watch this.
Oh, it was tire.
Oh.
Tire. Oh, the front of the car jumped off the tarmac.
He climbed the wheel of Zakouřil's car, landed back down, and instantaneously, look at the steering wheel. Więcek has no steering input on that side of the car. He snapped one of the arms in the front of the car. So if Zakouřil's proven to be right in this situation, it wasn't his fault,
yep,
Więcek will go out because he cannot continue. But now Więcek is driving around. Not sure what happened there. Was he able to fix the
It hasn't fixed itself.
I'm wondering,
it's not possible.
Is it possible that something he's able to continue? Is he going to try this with suspension broke on the front of the car?
No, it was, unless it wasn't broken.
Unless something else happened.
So he's continuing. So it wasn't broken. It didn't snap.
So Peter Więcek is trying to continue here, and this is a strange turn of events. Never seen anything quite like this before.
We're in uncharted territory. I work on drift cars for a living, Dave. You know this.
Well, what was it? Did something?
It looked like it was broken.
He's saying thumbs up to the start line, Marsh. He's saying send me. And this is unusual. This is brave from Więcek. I don't know what he's trying to achieve here.
I can see a lot of deliberation here with our judges. Yeah. Obviously, our judges have input into this to make sure the car's safe to leave the line as well. And that information's being relayed to the start line Marshall Martin, and he's saying, yep, he wants to go. But
so they got
I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Like this before, and we're going to decipher this after. But it looks like Peter Więcek is going to come off the line here, or not come off the line. The wheel has just faced the wrong direction there.
Yeah, so it was broken.
I think Peter Więcek could need his head examined here. The car has no steering. Is he still trying to
watch the front wheel?
The front wheel. So I'm not sure what he's trying to attempt here to stay in the fight. I mean, I like the never say die attitude.
This is a never die attitude. This is a I'm going to fight till the end.
I'm hearing more. I'm trying to keep up with this.
Well, our safety marshal.
Yeah, safety marshal wants to look at Więcek's car and say, is this safe to run? I mean, we're having a good conversation about this one. And as look, the steering wheel's not even facing the same way. And look at Więcek, he wants to run it.
Oh, and I'm hearing another word to say that if this is right, Peter physically crossed the line with the front of the car, so that will be an incomplete. Started and stopped, so he does get an incomplete. Judges are nodding at me, Dave. This tonight has the whole rule book out.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it seems dramatic, but there was no, I mean, in my opinion, there was no way Więcek was going to initiate that car into the first corner without crashing it. I mean, I know he wants to put a show on for the fans here. He's in a situation where I just don't think that's going to work. I think it's just going to be a big crash, and maybe the adrenaline and all that's building up, and of course he wants to put on the best possible show for all of the fans here in attendance, but you can't run a car if it's not safe, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so now we're hearing that Marcin false started the cars. Okay, so now we don't know if Więcek's got steering. Marcin false started the cars. He's going to not be penalized for coming off the line because that was Marcin's issue. Does he have steering or not? We have no idea. Now my question is, and I'm hearing something as well, did the top mount of the coilover when he jumped the car come out and they jacked it within the 2 minutes to put it back together? And that could be the case here as well. I don't know what they did.
I mean, that's a possibility.
They say that when the car jumped, it might have, the top of the coilover, the suspension of the car might have come out of its slot, and they jacked it and put it back in, the car might be okay. That's a rumor I'm hearing. I have no idea what's going on. He might have no steering, he might have all steering. All we know is they're going to send him.
Well, here he goes, he's off the line. Looks like they're going to run the second half of the battle. I am not sure what is going on. This is absolutely unprecedented. Peter Więcek fires that car in. The wheel does wobble. There is a problem with the car, and he parks it in the wall. And Marko Zakouřil will drive away with this one. Yeah, we can see it out of the window of our commentary booth. The wheel.
Peter Więcek just tried to drive that lap with no steering and one front wheel.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it does look like the suspension has failed on that corner of the car. Unfortunately, Dave, for him, that contact being too heavy.
Oh, hold on a minute. I'm wondering. So we had impact with Peter Więcek, and he hits Zakouřil. Now, this is just going to be interesting, right? I'm just thinking, if Zakouřil was deemed at fault for the incident by slowing down, that's why Peter Więcek wanted to jump to go do the start, because all he had to do was initiate the second run.
Now I get it.
So we're learning, as you guys are learning, a very complicated situation here on track. But I'm starting to decipher that maybe Więcek knew or assumed that Zakouřil may have been at fault. Therefore, he would have to complete the second run. And all he would have to do is initiate. Even if he initiates and understeers, he still initiates. This could be a very interesting situation. Well, let's see which way the judging goes. We'll get on to Kevin and the guys after this. But Marko Zakouřil goes through. And that would bring us back to the original statement, Kevin, that it was Peter's fault of what happened. And he tried to stay in the fight, but he just couldn't.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. It all comes back to that contact after the end of outer zone 4, and we deemed who was at fault. Marko Zakouřil was fulfilling all of his goals as the lead driver. He was fully on throttle. He was on that qualifying line, and it just looked like Peter was just too eager with it, the proximity. Ended up making contact front wheel to front wheel, and obviously did suspension damage there. And yeah, it really all comes back down to that.
So a hit between the two cars looked, as we saw at first, Ian, that it was Peter being too aggressive. It looked obvious, it was obvious, and the judges went with the obvious call. Peter Więcek bows out in the grade 8, and Marko Zakouřil, bad season, great finish into the top 4. Love to see it. Czech Republic represent. And now here is the championship on the line. Here's what this battle means. If Lauri Heinonen loses this battle, if he loses this battle, Lauri Heinonen, Conor Shanahan is your 2023 champion. So Lauri Heinonen has to win this battle. And he's up against, you know, someone you might have heard of, Arne Kvia. 2 Scandinavian pros, they have to lay it down. Heinonen has to beat Kvia to stay in the championship. Otherwise, Conor Shanahan is your 2023 Drift Masters champion. That is all on the line, and Kvia's in the mix, and he doesn't care about either of them. He just wants to win the biggest drift event of all time. This is what it's all about, Ian. Massive battle here for a top 4. I mean, this is... Lauri's car is destroyed. Kvia's back end is destroyed. Heinen's pumped. I think he believes he can win this. I think Heinonen believes he can beat Kvia and stay in the fight. Kvia believes he can win. Shanahan knows. He knows the math now. He knows that if Lauri Heinonen loses this run, Conor Shanahan is the champion.
I've got butterflies, Dave. I don't know what else to
here
say.
we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready.
The nerves are building. The tension in the commentary booth is electric. And look at this. Kvia ramps up the side of Heinonen. And Kvia knocks himself out.
I think that's Heinenen's win. I think that might be Heinonen.
Oh, my God.
Didn't even get through the first corner. Look at the back of Heinenen's car. It's absolutely in ribbons. Did Lauri get it?
Oh, look at the dejection from Shanahan. He's gutted.
I don't know. I don't know. Does he think? He knows. He knows that that was it. I think Shanahan knows that Kvia was at fault. And if Tor hit him, and Heinonen look, he's a tire off the rim, so it's got to be decided here on track. If Heinonen gets the win, it's still open game. Heinenen's still in the championship.
But now this comes down to a judging factor. This comes now down to a judging factor.
To be fair, Kvia comes flying in.
Kvia, you know what?
Comes flying in.
I hate to say it, but Kvia does exactly what Baggsy does.
He comes in too hot, way too hot. Look at this.
He comes in at the same pace as Baggsy. Look at this. This is almost a mirror image of what Baggsy and Heinonen did.
Way too aggressive. And I mean, it happens.
You have to, though. This is Lauri Heinonen. This is the man that's fighting for the championship.
Oh, look, and you can see, I mean, these are two good friends behind the scenes. Lauri saying, what happened, Tor? Yeah, Kvia's just like, I don't know. So they're not sure what's happening right now. And this, to me, would be another one for you, Kevin, to talk about. So what's going to happen here is Kvia cannot continue. And the only way he would be still in competition is if he was proved to be not at fault and got a competition timeout. But I think what I'm seeing here is Lauri go back to the start line. Does that mean that your fault goes with Kvia on that one?
Yeah, it does. And again, Dave, what we're looking for here was Lauri actually fulfilling those league driver goals? And from what we can see, yes, he initiated correctly. He didn't excessively decel on initiation. He didn't impact at the wall heavily. He didn't really do anything that he shouldn't have been doing. Therefore, in our opinion, Tor just came in a little bit too hot. Again, just like we saw in the last battle, front wheel to front wheel contact here. As you can see, just as they start to initiate in, it looks like Tor just comes in a little bit too hot, trying to get that proximity right from the start and is cutting that line. Bang, massive contact. Tor 100% at fault there.
Well, there you have it. So Lauri Heinonen will get the call and go through to the final four, meaning that Conor, Shanahan and Lauri Heinonen still in the competition in the final four. And then we have got Marko Zakouřil, absolutely out of nowhere flying. And then we have got Paweł Korpuliński against Juha Rintanen. Rintanen still in the fight tonight, but not the championship. And we're going to see Lauri have to initiate the first corner here. We know how the rules work now. Has to initiate the first corner to get the points on the board to win the battle, right? So it has to, get that completed first corner.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. So I can't believe we saw Peter Więcek try and drive a car with one wheel steering. It's been one of those nights where anything can happen, but we have got the top two in the championship still in the fight. And all he's got to do is initiate into that first corner.
There he goes, he's through the gears, he needs to make it work, and you know what, I have no doubt that it will work, and there we go, Dave, he gets the job done. Lauri Heinonen, who will make it official, will move through to the final four. And look at this, very clever, Heinonen doesn't risk it.
Yeah, Heinonen might just go back and check that car over. Again, another big hit with Ørjan. Kvia could have knocked a lot of suspension arms out of place. That was a big front wheel hit, by the way. So, it's going to definitely knock the alignment off, but he's going to collect the result here, as it is going to be a pretty obvious one, I think, as Lauri Heinonen is going to get the win, go into the top four. Shanahan and Heinonen still in the top four. Ireland and Finland left in the competition. Oh, the nerves of everybody in the stadium right now. It is just knife edge. We've had a lot of crashes, a lot of wall hits, a lot of wheel-to-wheel contact. A decision will come in for Lauri Heinonen, I would imagine, as he has completed his run. Yeah, Lauri Heinonen getting the call and going through. And look at that, the Finnish fans and the Irish fans having a lot of fun here tonight, Ian, in the stands. And the Polish, well, now they're just waiting on Mr. Paweł Korpuliński. Could he stay in it? Could we have a Polish man win this event? Well, there's only one left in the competition, and it is Paweł Korpuliński. And you know what? Not a bad ace in the hole for the Polish fans.
I was just going to say, if you're going to count your money on anyone, Paweł Korpuliński is definitely someone you can put your few quid on to be a contender for a Final Four. He's a good driver, very good driver. He just took Juha Rintanen to it one more time. So we know he has it in the bag here. We know he has the talent that he needs. What has he done to the car? Has he gripped it up 10% more? Has he put a little bit more sauce on it, Dave? Does he know now what Juha Rintanen's got? Is he going to try and outdrive Rintanen? They're on the line, ready to go. This one we know now isn't for the championship. Juha Rintanen can't do any more damage than he already has done. This one just for the pride, this one just for the podium. But the Polishman, Paweł Korpuliński, will want a podium in Poland, in his home country.
Well, also remember that Juha Rintanen now fighting for second and third in the championship, so you know there's still a lot to play for here. Your top 3 finish in Drift Masters, no joke for anybody. And here we go. It is Rintanen to chase in Korpuliński for the last spot in the final 4.
Yeah, look at this, and Rintanen wants it, he goes for it, but look at Korpuliński dialed on the outside zone, puts foot to floor, tries to drive away, but Juha Rintanen's jumped onto the back bumper. Nice transition, and look at this from Juha Rintanen. He's out of the outside zone, and Rintanen's making a hash of this one. He starts to fall away, he starts to make mistakes as they fire through the centre of the circuit. Rintanen goes for a big dive onto the door, and Korpuliński looks rock solid in outside zone 5. Korpuliński on the wall, across the line, but Rintanen mistakes all over the show.
Ooh. You know, Korpuliński just on rails the whole night, Ian. Like, he hasn't made any errors.
No.
I
It's
feel
like it's a
of
robot.
all the drivers we've watched tonight, he's the most consistent.
Yeah.
He hasn't made any errors. And look, Rintanen just puts the pressure on up on the door. You would expect him to be putting that pressure on. But Korpuliński's like, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. I'm just going to do my thing. And he does it every time. You're right, Rintanen to me makes more mistakes. He's a good dive after inner zone 3, but then he kind of messes up the transition and has to kind of cut the course a little bit.
Yeah, this one, look at this. And this for me was it, outside zone 4. He was way out of it, and it was a big mistake for Juha Rintanen. This is a beautiful dive though, absolutely clinical.
That's my favorite part of the track, that dive through the smoke. You know, that's the most difficult thing to do as a drifter, to go through a blind, smoky transition and just assume where the car is going to be, and he timed it perfectly. Now Rintanen, if he wants to go into the semi-finals, he has got to put on the lead run of his life. And Paweł Korpuliński, to get his highest finish of the year so far, has to put it on the door of the Flying Finn.
Not an easy task. Not an easy task on any day of the week, especially tonight when he's trying to decide the final 3 order, when Juha Rintanen would love to finish second in the championship above the young gun, Lauri Heinonen. But he needs to get this job done. He needs to get himself through Korpuliński and into that final 4. And here we go, off the line they go. Korpuliński to chase down Juha Rintanen. Through the gears they go. Korpuliński knows the pace, he knows the grip in that GR86, and it's shallow from Juha Rintanen. He wants to try and drive away, but that's not going to happen in Korpuliński's day, as Korpuliński once again looks for the side of that GR86. They're into that outside zone, and Korpuliński wobbling and wavering, keeping that proximity as he pushes Juha Rintanen across the circuit, outside zone 5, and waits for both of them as they get into it. Rintanen fires on the angle, Korpuliński closes the door, Korpuliński goes wheel to wheel.
It's just so good. And the Polish fans in this stadium are in ecstasy, because a Polish driver putting on, we know they probably banked a lot of it on Piotr Więcek. He did a great job, but Korpuliński taking the torch and running with it, unbelievable. To be honest, where I'm sitting right now, 2 exceptional chase runs. To me, maybe a little error from Juha Rintanen in the lead run, just a little here and there, a little shallow in that first corner. Other than that, really, I have nothing to complain about, other than it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree, Dave. I think that outside zone, he dropped out of it in the chase, and I think it's all going to come down to that. I think the judges are going to be splitting hairs massively here for this.
Well, on the biggest night in drift history, everybody is pulling out all the stops. They are here to entertain you. That is what it's all about, and we hope you are entertained, because this is as good as it gets in the sport. The Finnish fans, they're heroes, and the Polish fans, they're heroes, head-to-head here in the last battle of our top 8. And it is for the final spot in the semi-finals. I'll tell you what, plenty of highlight reels on the phones from the grandstands and the stadium here tonight. We're going to see a lot of social media over the next couple of weeks of how crazy this event was. And I mean, just look at Korpuliński here. A masterclass.
It was an absolute masterclass, and look at this from Rintanen. He's dialed inside the car, but that's not an easy task to be that consistent. And he's trying to have a little look over to see where Korpuliński is, and Korpuliński's glued to the door of Juha Rintanen.
You know, the dives from both, very good. It looked to me like Rintanen's was maybe a little bit more wow. And then Korpuliński's was a bit more consistent. This is going to be the big call. Top 4 place up for grabs. Who's going to get it? It's the Polish driver, Paweł Korpuliński. and the stadium erupts, Ian. He's done it. He's got the Polish into the top 4.
He certainly has, Dave. And look what it means to him, jumping around. The roar from 53,000 people is something that you've never heard before. It nearly blew the windows out of the commentary booth. That meant so much to the Polish, to have a Polishman in the final 4, battling it out. What 3 steps on the podium away for this man. What one will it be?
Well, he's got 2 shots at it.
2 shots at the podium.
2 shots at the podium from here. So the Polish have plenty to cheer about here in the stadium, and 4 different nations in the top 4. Ireland, Finland, Poland, and the Czech Republic. I want to go back to you, Kevin, very quickly. Just talk us through that one. It looked to me like Rintanen was good, but just not good enough on this occasion.
Yeah, super quick explanation on this one, Dave, but it really all comes down to the chase runs. And even though Juha had an absolutely fantastic chase run, he had 1 single error. Just as he was diving in here at outer zone 4, as you can see, he over-rotates a little bit, loses that tiny amount of proximity here, and he does gain it back afterwards, but that was the defining factor in that battle, and it was enough. And that will tell you how close that run was from both drivers. Absolutely phenomenal driving by both of them.
Thanks so much, Kevin. And Becky is down with Juha Rintanen. He bows out, Becky, but what a strong performance. What a year for Juha Rintanen.
Absolutely, Dave. Juha, it has been an incredible season for you. And to put it all on the line this evening, seeing you drive, that run was incredible. But just down to 1 mistake. When you were in the car, did you know yourself that maybe that was what was going to clinch it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. We did our best, our team did our best. We fixed the car after the crash in the morning, and we still drove like hell, so I'm happy.
Well, this means that you've actually got 3rd in the championship, so you must be happy about that. It's a great result.
Yeah, that's great achievement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juha, and congratulations.
Yeah, so there we go. Juha Rintanen will clinch 3rd spot in the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship. Just those 2 spots left to fight it out for, and that will go down to Conor Shanahan and Lauri Heinonen. Still in the competition, still in the final 4. Paweł Korpuliński will now take on Conor Shanahan for the slot in the final, and Marko Zakouřil, the Czech Republic driver, will take on Lauri Heinonen for the last spot in the final. Things are heating up here in Poland for the final round of the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship. And wow, what a day it has been so far. Incredible. You can see the dejection from Juha Rintanen. He knew that it was a bad day for him. He knew that 1 mistake was going to seal the deal and take him out of competition. Dave, let's take a look at the grid for top 4. Yeah, this is exciting now.
We're down to the finals because it is the top 4. 4 drivers remain, 2 still in the championship, and they're on the opposite sides. Conor Shanahan, if he beats Paweł Korpuliński, he becomes your 2023 champion. Lauri Heinonen still in the fight, but it depends on what happens in that top 4 battle for Conor Shanahan. So Lauri has to win his battle, and Conor Shanahan Lauri has to win the event, and Conor come 4th, as far as I know, for Lauri to win the championship.
Yeah, that's right, Dave, yeah.
So basically what we're saying here is, if Conor Shanahan wins this battle, he is the 2023 Drift Masters champion.
Yeah.
Because he's going to finish 2nd at a minimum.
Yes.
So therefore, the most important battle of the year is coming up next. And if you aren't excited already, just like all of these people here in the event, well, I mean, this is what it's all about. This is the days you dream of in sport, that all you want is moments like this, where it comes down to the finest of margins, nation versus nation, team versus team, in front of the biggest audience that's ever watched the sport. It doesn't get any bigger than this, Ian, and we are emotional here in the tower because this is the dream for this sport. It started off with basics, it started off with no audience 20, 30 years ago, and now, look around. This is what we've grown this championship to become. From humble beginnings, from mom and pop teams, all the way to a professional motorsport, followed by millions all over the world. Drifting in 2023 is here, and it's going nowhere.
Well, it's only going to get bigger, Dave. It's getting bigger from here on out. Things are going to get hotter. Things are going to get heavier. And places like this stadium packed out on a Saturday night in Poland, are going to become the norm. More and more people love drifting. More and more people are being attracted to drifting. It's exciting, it's thrilling, it puts you on the edge of your seat. It makes your jaw hit the floor. because this sport is unpredictable, dangerous and exciting.
And look at this. This is the moment. Conor Shanahan's dad. I mean, these two, every motorsport event they've been to, Conor starting off in motorsport at 7 years of age, had circle track racing, moving on to drifting, had his first ever season at 12 years of age. He won in a stadium event at 13 years of age, and now getting that hands device back on. I mean, the panic is real here. Conor Shanahan has to settle the nerves. This is the biggest battle of his life. His dad roaring motivation at him as he gets into the car. All the emotions in that Shanahan team, and they have gone through the ringer for over 8 years in this sport to try and win a European championship, and this is the closest they'll ever be.
This is it. This is it. This is the battle that decides it all. If he can take down Paweł Korpuliński, an on-form Paweł Korpuliński.
But Korpuliński's, he is a shark. He is coming for this. He wants to win the biggest drift event ever in front of his home fans. So if you think Paweł Korpuliński doesn't have just as much motivation as Shanahan has, then you're really sadly mistaken. Conor Shanahan's going into this, and they know. And Lauri Heinonen goes, well, I got to watch this one. He's watching Shanahan roll out going, if he comes back in and he's the loser, I'm back in the game. Remember, it's down to that. Conor Shanahan wins the next battle, he is your champion. If he loses it, Heinonen has to win the event to be the champion. That's the tale of the tape. You wanted excitement. And a little caveat is Conor has to finish 4th, so he would have to lose twice, essentially.
Okay.
So Conor would have to lose. So, I mean, just stay with us, folks. It's going to get exciting.
We're getting this news as you are getting this.
The news is flying in from the marshals. There's people doing mathematics. There's Excel sheets going everywhere. But I do guarantee you, this is all the marbles in front of the biggest audience that has ever watched a drift event live, online and in person. Conor Shanahan tries to create a lifelong dream for him. He watched his brother compete at the highest level when he was 7, 8 years of age, and this is his moment. But Korpuliński says, no, buddy, this is my moment. These are my people. We are heading to the finals. Get ready, strap in, here we go. Well, if you like your sport with a slab of tension and a little sprinkle of drama and a big wallop of excitement, we got the pie for you, because Conor Shanahan right now goes to the line for the biggest battle of his life. He wins, he is the 2023 Drift Masters champion. He loses, well, it's still all to play for. Never mattered more, Ian. Never mattered more. And this is for everything we've started in Mondello, all the way through 5 different European events. It comes down to the final 4. Shanahan, the Irish are on their feet. The Polish are on their feet. It is going to be electric as these two go around the track. Hold on to everything around you. This is all that matters in drifting right now. Can Conor Shanahan do the unthinkable and win it here in front of 53,000? He had no practice, qualified, had no practice, won every battle, changed an engine overnight. But Korpuliński's never made a mistake, and Korpuliński will not be fazed by Shanahan. You have 2 of the most consistent drivers on the grid, 2 incredible line drivers going head to head. Here we go. Lights go green. Shanahan in the lead position, Korpuliński in the chase, and Korpuliński's right there. Korpuliński dives into that chase position. Shanahan goes to the wall. Korpuliński goes to the door. Korpuliński's hungry for it here as Shanahan goes through the first inner zone. Boom, through the second inner zone. Korpuliński's right on his tail. Korpuliński not backing down, Korpuliński right up to the door. This is perfect from Shanahan, perfect from Korpuliński all the way through the center section. This is inch perfect from both drivers, the Irishman and the Polish. Jeez, this is unbelievable. Look at this run. Korpuliński pushing the door in.
Wow.
Take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching a masterclass.
That was unbelievable. For me, there was one little glimmer of hope for Conor Shanahan in that battle, in that lead, where Korpuliński came into outside zone 6 and shallowed up the angle. But watch this from beginning to end. This was textbook stuff from Conor Shanahan. That lead line was phenomenal, and it opened the door for Korpuliński. He matched the angle. Every transition was perfect. Look at that. You couldn't have got closer if you tried without pushing him through the wall. It was unbelievable. Korpuliński was hungry for it, and he wanted it. But Conor Shanahan was rock steady out front like a champion would be.
You know what? Looking at that first run, nothing decided there.
For me, there's one small little chink in the armour, and I'm not sure if we're going to get to see it. It was when they came into that outside zone 6. Korpuliński made ever such a slight error, and it put him at a funny angle.
Smallest of margins.
Smallest of margins.
Shanahan's got to go for it here. He's got to go for it. It's all the marbles.
Look at the running, Dave.
It's his entire life stream in 50 seconds. But he's got to go. He's got to go there. He's got to put it on the door. He knows Korpuliński's good. Shanahan has got to win it. If he wants to be champion, he's got to throw everything at Korpuliński here.
Oh, he's going to go for it, Dave. Korpuliński sets it up nicely. As Shanahan shallows up the angle, he tags the door. It's dirty from both of them. It's not the cleanest. And now they get back into it. Shanahan finds his form once again. He sells the nerves. Jumps onto the rear quarter. He's closer than Korpuliński. They're both scrappy. They're both in the wall. They're touching each other. It's wheel to wheel. They're banging doors all the way across the circuit. Shanahan makes a break. Korpuliński goes into outside zone 5, and Shanahan is on the door. Conor goes for the wheel across the line.
Forget it. That is incredible. I've got to say, I never in my lifetime thought I would see driving of this level, ever. Korpuliński and Conor Shanahan, regardless of the result, that is one of the best battles you will ever see. We're talking about the most minute of details because we're expecting perfection when that's not even possible. Incredible. Korpuliński and Shanahan. Korpuliński, to me, has a little error. Shanahan, to me, a little bit better proximity, but it's not perfect. Shanahan has that understeer on the first corner.
Yep. Korpuliński's lead for me wasn't the cleanest.
And look at Lauri Heinonen looking over. Lauri Heinonen warming tires on the track, just looking up at the screens through the windscreen of his car while he warms the tires. He's going to know what this means. This is the big decision. Will Shanahan be 2023 champion, or will Korpuliński go to the final? There's an argument for both sides here.
There is, and I'll tell you why the judges are going through this one with a fine-tooth comb, Dave. They do not want to make one mistake. Look at this, big mistake. Conor Shanahan, look at the front wheels.
Yes, an understeer, big understeer from Shanahan on that first corner.
And they're both out of the outside zone, though. This wasn't clean from Korpuliński or Shanahan. There was a lot of mistakes in there.
I'm nervous for both drivers.
I am very nervous for both drivers. Look at the understeer. Look, you can see Conor Shanahan crossed his arms the opposite way. That means that there was big understeer into that first outside zone.
Oh, look how good this looks on screen. And we're just watching what you guys are watching at home, and it just looks absolutely ridiculous. It's like something at a Mad Max in a stadium. Gladiatorial is what this is. Two gladiators of the sport going head-to-head with the biggest prize in the game on the line. I will remind you, Shanahan gets the call, he is the champion. Korpuliński gets the call, he goes to the final of the biggest live drift event in the world. Has it ever meant any more than this?
Look
with
at
a
Shanahan,
swipe left and a
nervous.
swipe right. This is for all the marbles. The judging decisions
are not in.
They're still deliberating this. And Conor Shanahan can't wait anymore. The emotions in that kid right now are pouring out, and the judging is still being discussed. There it is, understeer.
It's down to that for me.
There's understeer from Shanahan, but then Korpuliński's on the inside of the track here. Not a great initiation in the chase from either driver there. So, you know, Conor Shanahan, better proximity, but Korpuliński doesn't make that big understeer error. Oh, come on, this is, and watch, as they come back through this section, this is what you were looking at, Ian, was Korpuliński here.
Yeah, Korpuliński, look, he kind of tags the wall. Ready, there,
yeah, he has a little wobble as well, a little
and then he finds himself on the inside. He's front wheel to front wheel. It's not clean from Korpuliński.
Remember 10 years ago in drifting when it was a spin or not?
Oh, yeah.
Now we're down to a wobble.
A wobble.
A wobble to decide the biggest drift event in the world. Just a wobble, just a little change.
Look at Heinonen.
Yeah, Heinenen's on the line.
He's on the.
And he is watching that screen. Heinonen knows that if It slides to Shanahan, that's it for Heinonen. He can only come second in the championship. But if it slides for Korpuliński, Heinonen knows that the battle he's in is for the battle of his life from that point on. This is going to be interesting. And of course, no matter who's watching, wherever they're watching from, everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but the judges, they don't just have an opinion, they have a decision.
Yep.
And that decision is taken incredibly carefully. I can see massive arguments over to my right-hand side. So we've got one Irish judge, one Dutch judge, and one Czech Republic judge. And they are having a serious argument right now. Do we have a decision in? It looks like we do have a decision dropping in. I have no idea which way this one's going to go. Poland versus Ireland, championship on the line. And Shanahan, now, here we go. He'll know. The camera's back on him. This is it. Left for Shanahan, right for Korpuliński. The championship on the line. Here we go.
Oh!
It's a one more time. No, we can't take any more of this.
Wow.
We can't take any more of this. And Conor Shanahan can't take any more of this. He said it was the longest night of his life, but it's not getting any shorter, Ian. We're going to jump over to our man Kevin O'Connell. Kevin, having some debates over to the far side of the room there.
Big debates, Dave, and I'm after pulling out half of my head of hair here. I think realistically what it comes down to lead, very similar. Like not exactly similar, but fairly close. So for us, it comes down to the chases and comparing those. As you saw on Conor's chase run, he made a relatively big mistake where he had to shallow up and almost straighten his wheels and the initiation point. But after that, it was absolutely clinical, really on the door the whole way throughout, absolutely clinical chase run for the majority of that run. Then you look at Korpuliński's chase, extremely good, but he was sacrificing his line and he was shallowing up angle to maintain that proximity. So if you compare both of them had flashes of brilliance, but Conor's was cleaner with one big mistake. Korpuliński's was similar, but with more minor mistakes. So overall, how do you decide a winner out of that? We have to see it go one more time.
Oh, I don't know. I think Kevin O'Connell's trying to just
But now,
put us all under the ground
hold on a
here.
minute. If that wasn't enough to break your nerves,
Now, Lauri Heinonen.
Lauri Heinonen says, well, the decision's not made.
Nope, he's
So
still
if
in
I
this.
get to the final,
Yep. He could still win the
I
championship.
could still win it. Because
Lauri
Paweł
Heinonen
now
has learned-
stands another chance.
Yeah, he's learned nothing here.
No.
And now Lauri Heinonen knows that Paweł could beat Shanahan here if he's got it one more time.
He's put him on the
So
ropes.
Lauri Heinonen, well, he has to beat Marco Zakouřil. There's no question. He has to beat him. Because think about it, if Lauri Heinonen goes out here, Shanahan is the champion, right?
Yep.
Oh, I've just realized that.
You've just realized.
So now Lauri Heinonen decides the championship for himself.
For himself.
And Conor Shanahan, who's probably somewhere putting wheels and tires on a car. This is just so tense. So Lauri Heinonen wins, we don't know. Marco Zakouřil wins, then Shanahan is the champion. Here we go. It's another semi-final here at the final round of Drift Masters. Heinonen to lead in Zakouřil.
Yeah, and here we go. Big flag from Lauri Heinonen. He fires it in. And look at this. Zakouřil shallow, not in the outside zone. He's already bleeding points away from his score as Lauri Heinonen looks rock steady and dialed in. Zakouřil now starting to find some fame as he starts to wind it in. But once again, he's out of the outside zone. It's scrappy from Zakouřil. He's struggling against the Finnish driver. As Lauri Heinonen comes across the circuit, he kind of knows he's got this one in the pocket already. Zakouřil makes a last-ditch dive at the door. He tries to turn the screw, but Lauri Heinonen is flawless this evening.
Well, he's doing everything he can do, Lauri Heinonen. That's all you can ask of him. That's all you can ask of Lauri Heinonen, is to do all he can do. And he's doing it. Perfect lead run. Zakouřil making a host of errors in the chase position. And even now, I still don't believe any of these battles will be clear-cut. Something can happen at any moment. You can be in the wall at any moment. The car can break down at any moment. It's never been this tense before. Surely this is the most on-edge drift event you've ever seen.
I've just had a thought that I know what's going to happen, and I'm not even going to say it because I don't think anyone is ready for it.
So Lauri Heinonen has to win this.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah.
Or else Conor Shanahan is the champion. I think Lauri Heinen's done half the job.
I think he's done more than half the job.
He's done more than half the job. Now he's got to go into the chase position. He's got to seal. He's going to seal his own fate here. He's got to give himself a fighting chance.
So what happens if Lauri gets in the final? Does that mean that Conor has to go in the final and the final battle of the final event of the final round?
No, I have a
championship?
feeling that if Conor goes to the final,
It's
he
done.
wins the championship. Yeah, so it's all down to that Conor Shanahan battle. but we could still see Conor and Lauri in the final. We just don't know.
Just had confirmation. If Conor goes to the final, he wins. He needs to win that battle. Here we go. They're off the line through the gate, through the gears. Marco Zakouřil knows it wasn't clean. Lauri Heinonen on the back bumper. Now he's going to apply the pressure. Now he's going to show Marco Zakouřil why he's on a championship drive for 2023, and he pushes Marco Zakouřil close to the wall, into the outside zones. Lauri Heinonen doing an absolutely superb job. Zakouřil cleaner than he was before, tight to the walls. Is this very nice lead line for Marco Zakouřil, but all it's doing is opening the door, giving Lauri Heinonen the opportunity to push him out of competition. As Heinonen goes for the rear wheel, Zakouřil fires it to the wall, and Heinonen once again is unbelievable.
That's unbelievable from Lauri Heinonen. Under these conditions, with that level of pressure, to pull a performance like that out of the bag, Marco Zakouřil is no walkover. But Lauri Heinonen, there was no beating him there. As far as I'm concerned, he just went for it, and it worked. Like, does it look to you now that Lauri Heinonen is more confident than Conor? I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to put it out there.
He's a championship driver. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we're jumping ahead here. We're assuming, but to me, as a drift fan for over 10 years, I think the judges have had some really tough calls today. That might not be the toughest. Which way it goes. Lauri Heinonen needs this win. If Lauri Heinonen loses this battle, Conor Shanahan is your 2023 champion. And if Lauri wins, it all goes back on Korpuliński and Shanahan in the one more time. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we were excited at the start. We're definitely going to be exhausted by the end, but boy, have we given you one night's entertainment. Lauri Heinonen, as you can see, it was a great initiation. He did everything he had to do, and you know what? He did more. He didn't need to be this close.
No, he didn't. He didn't need to push this hard. But, you know, that's what a championship drive does. A person that's fought all year hard for a championship pushes to the limit and more. And I think Lauri Heinonen has shown tonight why he is so high up in this championship, why he's fighting for it, because this tonight has been a masterclass. Every single turn of the track, he's been on point.
I just love the images of these two guys. The Czech Republic and Finland represent as the flames fire into the night sky in the stadium. I absolutely love the shots. The cameras on the ground, the slow-mos, it just gives you the vibe. Look at that little hit in the wall from Zakouřil there. He just overdrove, I think, Marco Zakouřil. Just gave it a little bit too much. Now, even if he does win or lose this, he'll still have a shot at the podium. So that's the way it works. He's going to go into the third and fourth place for him. Or the judges might have looked at something we did not, and Lauri Heinonen might, you don't know, win or lose. We don't know. So here it is. The decision will drop in. If Lauri Heinonen wins this battle, Shanahan the fate is back in his hands. If Lauri loses, Shanahan's the champion. And there it is. Lauri Heinonen is going to the final of the biggest drift event in the history of the world. But will he go there as champion, or could he be champion? Or will he go there as second in the championship? And I don't know. Imagine we had 1 and 2 in the championship fighting it out in the final. That's never happened before, by the way. So this would be an incredible turn-up for the books. And it will come back to Conor Shanahan and Paweł Korpuliński, because those two now will decide the fate of the championship. And Paweł Korpuliński is ready. The Shanahans are actively working on the car.
Look at that, final checks, just checking every single thing on the car. No, they're not risking anything. They're not leaving anything to risk, Dave. They want that car 110% before it even leaves the paddock. They know once it gets out onto the tarmac, they cannot put a hand on it.
There's absolutely nothing left of the back of Lauri Heinenen's car. Nothing. It's absolutely destroyed. It's gone. I'm sure he's going to hand it out to all the Finnish fans that helped him get where he is at the end of the event. And now you can see this is so tense. Conor Shanahan goes one more time at Paweł Korpuliński. What we can tell you, Ian, guaranteed, is at the end of this, we will know, because there cannot be another one more time.
No.
So at the end of this battle, either Conor Shanahan will be champion, or it's back in the mix again with Lauri Heinonen. Simple as Conor Shanahan wins, he's the champion. Looked simple before. Korpuliński said, nah, I'm going to win this. I'm Polish. We're in Poland. Most of these people are my people. They want a big finish from a Polish driver, and that's what he's going to give them. This is motivated Korpuliński, and it shows that Conor Shanahan, you can see, he doesn't want this one more time. He wants this wrapped up. He wants it finished. He wasn't celebrating that one more time. He is under pressure all day today, all night. He says the longest weekend he's had. They've had to change an engine. He got 0 practice laps, 0 laps before qualifying, 0 laps before top 32. And here he is in the top 4. He's fighting for it, Ian, but he's got a big, steely competitor beside him.
He certainly is. He's fighting for it. He's being pushed for it, Dave. He's being asked a lot of questions this week. weekend. He turned up here on Friday morning and the car was already broken. He got no practice. He went out just for qualifying. They said that they've done everything asked. He said, the only thing I ask is to be the 2023 Drift Masters European Champion. They have done everything they possibly can this weekend. The team have worked tirelessly.
I mean, this is tense. This is tension. One mistake from Shanahan. Here's the thing. If Shanahan puts the car on the wall and breaks it, he's out for the whole competition and could lose the championship to Lauri Heinonen.
Well, if he finishes 4th and Lauri Heinonen wins the event, it's done.
It's done. Heinen's the champion. So Shanahan not only has to win this battle by risking everything against Korpuliński, who he couldn't beat with a phenomenal run, now he has the risk of, if he puts the car on the wall and terminally damages the car, he could hand the championship to Heinonen. That's what's on the line in the next 3 to 4 minutes. Drifting, huh? Nothing quite like it. His mum in absolute ribbons in the grass. She can't watch this. She cannot watch this because they have been all over Europe, all over the world, and this is the biggest moment in the Shanahan's family's entire. They've never won a European Championship, never won it. After 8 years of trying between Jack and Conor, never won it. And there's 2 battles, and you can see the judges even are sitting up because this is big, this is huge. This is for all the marbles, Ian. Shanahan will be the lead driver. Korpuliński in the chase, and they're going to push this. They're going to go further than they did the first time. Hold on to your seats. Here we go.
Here we go. Through they come. Look at this big flick from Shanahan. Calculated from Korpuliński. They don't want to make a mistake this time. Shanahan deep in outside zone 1. Korpuliński painted on the side of that Toyota GT86 as they come through. Korpuliński almost takes the front end off of his car on the transition. He does take the front end off the car as Shanahan gets into the wall. Korpuliński stays with him. He doesn't care about the front bumper. Oh, and he tags Shanahan on the transition. Korpuliński's thirsty for it. He's hungry. He wants it more than ever. As Shanahan leads them into that final outside zone, Korpuliński loses some ground.
Korpuliński took the front end off the car and the back end off the car and still finished on the door of Conor Shanahan. Didn't back off one bit, lost every panel off the car. You could not ask more from these drivers right now. You can't ask more physically or even from a physics perspective, from a gravity perspective, you can't ask more.
Look at this. Korpuliński was absolutely painted up the side of that Toyota GT86. He couldn't get any closer than him. Boom! Completely rips the front bumper off the car, wedges it underneath the front wheels and keeps going. Doesn't bail out of it, doesn't back down. He said, this is my opportunity to try and get on the podium.
It's just outrageous. Look at this. He's just driving over his own bodywork, smashing through his own lights, his own bumpers, and he doesn't even lose that much ground. He's right there with Shanahan. Look at this.
It touched
nudge
the door.
To the door. Oh, that's what it's all about. That's a top 4 battle for us in Drift Masters. Conor Shanahan's under pressure here. Big, big pressure.
Oh, this is going to be a big ask for Conor Shanahan now. He has to
I don't
really
know
go.
What has he got to do?
He's got to go to an uncomfortable place, Dave. He's got to go to a place.
Looking at this chase run from Korpuliński, watch the dive through the smoke. He comes through half the car in absolute bits, and he comes through. Korpuliński's chase run, that's everything Korpuliński had. He threw everything at Shanahan there. And Shanahan's lead run is good, but oh, the nerves right now. You can see the nervous faces in the audience because Conor Shanahan, remember, if he goes too hard and loses the car, he could hand the championship to Lauri either way. What does he do? What does he do? Does he save the car for the 3rd and 4th place playoff? Does he go for it here to try and get to the final and win the championship? I think he's got to go for it. I think it's too hard to know.
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. We know Conor Shanahan. We know the attitude. We know the Shanahan mentality. We know he's going to push 110%. He's not going to let Paweł Korpuliński knock him out of his championship this late in the game.
And you know that the mentality with the Shanahans right now is if they have to put that GT86 in the bin tonight, but they have that trophy, they will not care. They will sacrifice every car they have, every part they have, every suspension component to get that European title. Korpuliński, look how calm he is. After that run, you expect the adrenaline to be high. Korpuliński is laser focused. I feel tonight, look at the front of the car, it's absolutely destroyed. The bumper bars deciding to leave the equation. Korpuliński knows that all these fans, and most of them Polish, want a Polish winner. Can you imagine the atmosphere in here if a Polish driver wins this event? Korpuliński wants that to happen, and that's his motivation. Take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you haven't paid a lot for your seat because you're only going to need the edge of it for the final couple of runs of this championship fight. Conor Shanahan is he's nearly in the tunnel at this stage, trying to take a run in on Korpuliński. This one is for everything on the line. Shanahan has to win it. Here we go.
Oh, look at this, he's on the back bumper, he's not letting Korpuliński get away. No chance of understeer this time from Shanahan as he jumps into it. Korpuliński not as deep onto the wall as Shanahan. But Korpuliński needs to be technical and clinical as Shanahan tags the wall with the front bumper. Now he's back into it again as Korpuliński drags the back end of the S14 around the wall. Shanahan's as close, if not closer, than Korpuliński. Takes the risk on the transition into outside zone 5. Shanahan up onto the door, into the wall, onto the back bumper. Shanahan!
That is unbelievable, Ian. That is beyond what we've seen all night from Conor Shanahan in that chase position. Give it to Korpuliński in the lead as well. That is as close as it gets. I didn't think Shanahan had it to turn that one around, but I was so wrong, and I'm so happy that I've got to witness these two incredible drivers go head-to-head here tonight. The audience, there is mouths open everywhere in attendance. For the people here that have never seen drifting before, they are watching the best of it on the first night. Where do you go in the world to see better drifting? On the door, not a panel on the car straight, fighting tooth and nail. Conor Shanahan's car in bits, Korpuliński's car in bits. And Conor Shanahan, that is an unbelievable battle. That is going to be played in the highlight reel for many years to come. But it's a tense one for both drivers. Conor Shanahan gets out of it, look, he smiles. Either way, he knows that's all he had. That's all he had on the line. That was madness, absolute madness from Korpuliński and Conor Shanahan. And it's only the final 4, but it's the most important decision in Conor Shanahan's career, because again, I will remind you all, if he wins this, and there's tears in the audience right now, if he wins this, he is the champion. If Korpuliński wins it, Heinonen back in the game. Here comes the result, the biggest one of the year. Shanahan is the champion. Shanahan is the champion. He's the 2023 champion, and the emotions fall out of after the longest night, I think, in the history of the sport, Ian. Wow. He's done it. He is the 2023 champion, and he's going to go to the final. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable scenes.
Speechless, Dave. Absolutely speechless.
Have we ever seen scenes like this in drifting before? Unbelievable. What a night. What a night for drifting.
Wow.
And everything it needed to be, it was. And this is like the Champions League final or something. I mean, I've never seen a drift event so emotionally charged, but Shanahan's done it, and that was all that chase run. He threw it all on the line. I've got to go over to you, my good man Kevin O'Connell, because that was a tough one to judge.
It was a tough one to judge, but to be honest, Conor's driving there really made it a little bit easier. Absolute perfection in that lead run. Absolute perfection in that chase run. I've never seen driving like that. It was absolutely clinical, and unfortunately just too many mistakes from Korpuliński overall.
Well, there you have it. Over to Becky. She is with your 2023 champion, Conor Shanahan.
Conor, breathe this in. Take a second to let this moment sit with you for a second. You are the 2023 Drift Masters European champion. The emotions are flying. I can see from your face that this means the absolute world to you. Can you even put it into words right now? What is going through your mind?
I apologize for the emotions, but this was the longest night of my life. I've wanted this since I've been a kid, and I've worked endless, my whole team, my family. I dedicate this, my first championship, to my mom and dad. They never stopped. They constantly kept believing. It is what it is. I'm lost for words right now, but we've done it. We're the champion. Unbelievable in front of this. Incredible things, but there's an important job left, and that's to win the biggest drift event in the world and show why I'm the champion. But honestly, from anybody who's played a part of my journey since I've been 12 years of age, to my brother Jack, who I'm sure would love to stand on the podium tonight, this guy has gave me a car, gave me the knowledge, gave me the opportunity to be involved in this incredible sport, what I honestly love. Thank you all so much. Killavullen, we done it. The Haven Bar, I'll be home. It's going to be a long week, that's for sure. Yes, all my family, friends understand. Thank you so much. The support is incredible. Let's go enjoy the final. The pressure is off.
Congratulations, Conor.
Well, there you have it. Incredible scenes here in Poland as Conor Shanahan lives the dream Ian, and the emotions from everybody in the stadium. You could see how much relief he got from that, because it was a long weekend. No practice, engine failure, went into qualifying without one lap of the track, got in the show, and you got to give it up to Paweł Korpuliński, because without a good dance partner, you're not going to put on a show like that in front of the fans.
Well, it takes two to tango, Dave, and Paweł Korpuliński gave Conor Shanahan the chance to shine in that battle, that Final Four battle, the spot in the final. And you know what? Paweł Korpuliński will be another driver that goes down in history, a highlight reel. We've had so many of them at the Drift Masters European Championship, but that battle will be the one as well that goes down forever. But now, Dave, we look to the final 4 battles of the evening. It's emotional in the commentary booth.
Oh.
It's emotional everywhere.
Because it's emotional for the sport, Ian. This, you know, you can watch this and you might just passively watch it and say, hey, but for people of this sport who've invested 10, 15 years in it with, to many degrees, very little reward, including the Shanahans, who have sacrificed probably their entire lives to this sport. They never imagined a night like this. And you know, it's funny when I think about it, the amount of losses, and I think they've lost 5 or 6 or 7 years in a row. If you ask them which one would they win, it was this one tonight. In front of this audience, in front of this crowd. This was the big one. But you know what? I'm just thinking. I'm thinking Lauri Heinonen right now, and I'm thinking, do you know what he'd love to do? He'd love to win tonight. And split the honors with Conor Shanahan. You're the champion. I won the biggest drift event of the year. We'll call it even. And Conor's going, and look at this, an embrace from Dad, John Shanahan, to Conor Shanahan. They've done it. The emotion, I don't know how Conor's going to get back in the car. He's almost completely lost the run of himself here. But you got to say, it is going to be a wild final either way. And all we had to do was sit back and watch it, Ian, because we've done nothing but watch the best this weekend, and we have just loved being a part of it.
Oh, it's been amazing, Dave. This weekend has been phenomenal. We hyped this final up. We said it was going to be the greatest final of all time. And do you know what? I think we ticked the box.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, let's see what's left to work with. It is going to be 2 more battles remaining. We will have Paweł Korpuliński and Marco Zakouřil. That's going to be good, really good, in the 3rd and 4th. And then Lauri Heinonen against Conor Shanahan. The 2 drivers finishing 1st and 2nd in the championship will be the 1st and 2nd. And it's been a phenomenal weekend all around. And you know what? I'm so happy for Conor Shanahan and Lauri Heinonen to get their just deserves for being so good all year. They're making it to the final. And I think Lauri is going to come into that one a little bit more hungry than Conor Shanahan. The relief flows out of Conor Shanahan. He's going to leave the car in pieces on the track. But Lauri Heinonen would absolutely love to just win the biggest drift event in the world.
I'll tell you something.
Which would you want? Biggest drift event of the world or the championship? It's hard to decide.
I'll tell you what, Conor Shanahan's going to want both.
Oh, he's going to want both, 100%.
He's going to want them both.
But if you win both, not only do you prove yourself as the best in the world, but you do it in the biggest stage. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we are ready to send these cars. It's time to go to the finals. Two drivers remain, 1 spot on the podium, Zakouřil and Korpuliński. Now, we know what the fans want here. They want to see Korpuliński on the podium because there's a Polish driver to celebrate. But Marco Zakouřil has had a really tough season. He hasn't shown, almost for 2 years now, how good we know he is. And I think Marco Zakouřil may have been worrying about whether he'd continue in the sport. Is he good enough anymore? Those all play through your mind.
All the doubts. Since 2018, 2019, when we see him in Germany, Dave, miss out on that Final 4. That was the last glimmer we had from Zakouřil, where we thought, oh, he has got it. He is a world-class driver. And it's took him a long time to bounce back. But now he's back, Dave. I think in 2024, he's going to be a name that everyone's saying.
And there's a lot of Czech flags all around this stadium right now, because Zakouřil going to the podium will be the highest finishing Czech Republic driver of all time. We told you everything's on the line tonight. It all matters. Korpuliński for the home fans, Czech Republic for the history. Oh, and we go at it again as Korpuliński and Zakouřil go head-to-head in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Ian, the emotions, the adrenaline, it has been the most incredible night I can ever remember in drifting. And we still have 2 incredible battles to go. Ian, I just want to say it's been a pleasure all year sharing the commentary booth with you.
As always,
We've got 2 more to go.
We're not over yet.
We've got about 4% battery and 1% voice, so we need you guys at home to help us out. We are going to send this one to the moon here in Warsaw tonight. as it is going to be, and you know what, I'm looking forward to this. Korpuliński's on it, Zakouřil's on it, and they're definitely going to trade paint. I'm going to put my house on it. There's going to be some door banging in this one.
I'm going to say that Korpuliński's already shed a few body panels off that car. Zakouřil's he's come out unscathed so far, but I don't think Korpuliński is going to let Zakouřil leave this arena without losing at least the back end of that car. They pull up to the line. They are ready to go. Our start line, Marshall Marcin, been doing an incredible job all year. Stands on the line. He gives them the thumbs up. The Czech Republic flag flies in support, but the Polish one is more prominent in this stadium this weekend. Zakouřil looks focused. He looks
focused,
collected.
Yeah. I just said he looks like he wants this. He's not even looking across or left or right. He is looking laser focused at that start line, Marshall, saying, send me, I'm ready.
I'm ready to go. Look at this. So Korpuliński can see the Polish flags flying. He wants it as well. He knows he can do it. They're on the line. They get the thumbs up. The light goes green. Zakouřil drops the clutch. And here we go. The third and fourth place podium place awaits for one of these guys. Zakouřil with a wild initiation. He's wider than anyone else before he gets into it, but that opens the door for Korpuliński as Korpuliński now goes for a brave transition once again across the circuit. Through they go into outside zone 4. Look at Korpuliński pushing Zakouřil into the wall and around outside zone 4. They look for the touch and go, collected nicely by Zakouřil as they get into the wall. Shallows up the angle does Korpuliński as he puts foot to floor and he edges the front end of that S4 in towards the door of Zakouřil.
I just can't comprehend the consistency of quality. You can't just keep run after run after run being this good, and they are. Zakouřil's initiation was absolutely stupid. He came in more angled than anyone else, and he just sat there on the wall the whole way around. Korpuliński right there. I didn't see many mistakes from either driver in that one. They have it dialed. It's going to take a wow moment. That's what it's going to take. And I think if Zakouřil wants to make history and be the highest finishing Czech Republic driver of all time, he's got to risk the car. Just risk the car. I say it so casually, but I really mean that. You've got to risk the car. You're not going to shake Korpuliński.
No.
You're not. You got to do something special to beat him. He is that good. And you can see the Polish
just
fans
watching that transition, G.
Yeah.
For the centre of the circuit, it was bumper to... Well, if Korpuliński had a bumper, it would have been gone.
Yeah.
That's how close they were.
As I said, good thing no one has a bumper anymore because Korpuliński had lost the bash bar front and rear. And Korpuliński looking right up onto the door. It's so close. It's so clinical. And the quality of driving. I mean, this is a sport you forget with so many variables. How are they being this consistent? Well, Zakouřil, he wants to make history. Korpuliński wants to be adorned by the Polish audience here. He is their last chance hero. Korpuliński to lead in Zakouřil for third step on the podium. Here we go.
They're through the gears, they go down, and a nice initiation from Korpuliński, but it's shallow, and it's not as deep onto the wall as Zakouřil, and Zakouřil takes that opportunity. He sees a little wound, but he tags the front end and rips the car apart, and puts the car into a spin, and Poland erupts.
The entire stadium knows what that means. Poland are going to the podium. Zakouřil took it and smashed into that inner zone. He took the wheel off the car. That's a big hit, very big hit from Marco Zakouřil. You could see it coming. He just dove, he hit the front wheel off the concrete. The concrete didn't move. Everything in that BMW did. And he just completely lost control of the car. Undrivable, broke the suspension. But I said, he had to risk the car, Ian.
He did.
And what did he do?
He risked the car. Yeah. Look at this. This was unbelievable. Korpuliński wasn't on the nicest lead line up until that point. Fires it through, but Zakouřil looked lost in the smoke and bam! Smashes the bumper, the wheel, the whole lot into the wall. And at that point, he knows it's all over.
That was some big damage. If you see that car when it spins around, that's a big hit. Watch this on the replay. Absolutely smashes the wheel and actually breaks some of the concrete by looking at it off the wall. Watch this from the opposite side. Big hit with the wall. Look, watch the language of the car. Yeah, look, the wheel not turning anymore. Oh, that's a big hit. If you turn, look, when it spins around, watch the left-hand side. Car, all the wheel completely bent out of the car, which means that on the night of all nights, Ian, the night of all nights, the Polish fans in attendance get exactly what they wanted, which was something to cheer about, which I think is that it's going to be this humble, quiet killer. Paweł Korpuliński. He's going to do it here. He's getting third place on the podium. Paweł Korpuliński, third place on the podium. Poland has done it in Poland. They are taking home one of the trophies, Ian, and the smile on everyone's face in here, it's worth it alone.
Oh, you know what? His smile and the way the crowd reacted to him, Dave, was electric. And look at this. Every Polish drift fan in the place is standing and applauding him. The flags are flying, the scarves are flying. They are happy that they got a Polishman on a podium tonight. It was one of the hardest drift events in the world.
Look at Zakouřil's car. It's absolutely destroyed on the front. You can see the chassis leg there at the bottom.
Yeah, all wrecked.
All wrecked in, bent in. Yeah, a lot of that car is going to need some repair. Look, if you're going to do it, last round of the season is the time to do it.
Hey.
Why not risk it all? He knew Korpuliński wasn't going to be beaten with a simple run. He went for it. It didn't work out, but a round of applause for Marco Zakouřil, because that guy did as much as he could to get himself on the podium tonight. You know what? A Final Four finish is still very, very good.
That's an unbelievable finish for him. And you know what? It's the highest finish he's had in a few years now. And you know what? Marco Zakouřil will take that. And that'll be a bit of a, you know, a confidence boost as he gets himself ready for 2024.
So we will now move on to the final battle. And I mean, this is the one. First and second in the championship. First and second on the night, but we don't know the order. We know the order of the championship. Shanahan is one, Heinonen is second. Still,
I'm scared.
But Heinonen would love to steal the last moment. If Heinonen steals the last moment, which is the biggest drift event of all time, Conor Shanahan will be happy, Lauri Heinonen will be happy, but Conor Shanahan would love to take both. One more battle to go. It is the biggest battle in the world this year. Let's head to the final. Well, two drivers remain, one from Finland, one from Ireland. Heinonen, car is wrecked. Shanahan, car is wrecked. But here we are, 53,000 people, 9 stories high, in Warsaw on a track that didn't exist a few days ago, but boy, will it be remembered forever. Shanahan is your champion, and Lauri Heinonen wants to win the biggest drift event of all time. They're the two names that everybody's been talking about for 6 rounds, and here they are. 1 and 2 in the championship, 1 and 2 in the event, but Lauri Heinonen wants this. And Shanahan, he's been in tears, he's been emotional, he's been congratulated, but he's got to get the focus game back in now, because Lauri Heinonen, he's been sitting there staring and saying, hey, I want something to celebrate too. This is going to be a hell of a final.
It's going to be one hell of a final, Dave. You know what Lauri Heinonen said to me? You can't be a champion without winning an event. But that could be the sour part of this evening, because if he wins this event, he doesn't become the champion. I think Conor Shanahan is going to risk the car. He's going to risk everything. He's going to put everything on the line to take the win, because why the hell not? You're already the 2023 champion. You have nothing to lose.
No, this is going to be do or die. This could be a crash. Let's be honest. It is the final battle of the 2023 Drift Masters European Championship, the biggest and best season of the series to date. At the biggest event of all time, we have the biggest final of all time, and it is Shanahan versus Heinonen. Ireland versus Finland. The flags are waving from both sides. The Starline Marshal taking one last check over Conor Shanahan's car before he's about to send them. Lauri Heinonen, he wants the trophy. He wants the title of biggest drift event winner of all time. Shanahan has already cleaned up the championship. The Starline Marshal is pumping up the crowd. The party's beginning in Poland. The lights are on all around the stadium. All the lights are illuminating the stadium. This is a special moment. Here we go, the final of Drift Masters this year. Heinonen to lead him in.
Yeah, look at this. Heinonen on it already as he fires through. Look at Shanahan, are you serious? That's the closest we've seen so far. Lauri Heinonen absolutely excellent in the outside zone, but there is no shaking. Conor Shanahan, he wants it. He's going wheel to wheel. He pushes Lauri Heinonen round outside zone 4. There is no room for error. They come through the centre of the circuit. Lauri Heinonen looks for 5, and Shanahan can't be lost. He cannot get rid of him. He is glued to the door as Conor Shanahan pushes Lauri Heinonen through the finish line.
That's absolutely outrageous. That's
the best I've ever seen.
That is one of the best runs I've ever seen in my lifetime. Forget a final, forget the people, forget the lights, just in drifting in general, I have never witnessed a lead and chase like that. And all 3 judges just threw their pens over the table and said, what do you want us to do with that?
You can't be serious.
I don't know what to say. That is perfection. Look at this in the replay. Heinonen goes to the wall. Shanahan is on the door, millimeters the whole track. Do you want to talk about 1 and 2 in the championship? Why they're 1 and 2 in the championship? This is why.
This is just doesn't even make sense what Conor Shanahan did. There wasn't a moment on that circuit where he wasn't on the door, on a panel, within a meter of Lauri Heinonen's car.
I don't know if we have any more energy left, but there's one run left in this championship, and it all comes down to the man from Finland that the entire country got behind, that the entire country pushed him to this level, and they're in those grandstands right now. If Lauri Heinonen wants to do it, this is the time to do it, and he's got to go beyond what Shanahan did, and I don't even know what that looks like, Ian. This is the biggest run of Lauri Heinonen's life. Can he take down the champ to win the biggest drift event of all time? Here we go.
It's a big question, and he's going to answer it right now as Shanahan fires in. Shanahan absolutely glued to the wall, no messing around. Heinonen's with him though, but Heinonen doesn't have the same proximity, and I don't think Heinonen can ask the same question. I don't think he has the answer. The proximity isn't there from Lauri Heinonen, as Shanahan glues the back bumper of that GT86 to the wall as he fires through the touch and go. He is up and gone, and Lauri Heinonen has to make errors. Oh, but Shanahan tags the wall, almost throws it away as Heinonen backs it in across the line.
Unbelievable again. What a final. What a finish. And Lauri Heinonen, well, if the world doesn't know who he is now, well, now you know. We done learned you of who Lauri Heinonen is. This guy is going to be on everyone's lips for the next couple of years, and he may not have got the championship this year, but boy, is he a contender for the future now. How many contenders can we stack in this championship into the future? Conor Shanahan, well, that was, I don't know how he's controlled his emotions after all the hullabaloo of winning the championship, but my God, did these boys put it all on the track tonight. Ian, you said the proximity wasn't there, but if you think back to the 32, you'd have been blown mind blown by this. You'd have been saying this was the greatest thing you've ever seen, what Lauri Heinonen's doing. That's the level it's jumped up through the competition.
That is the level we expect. That is the level that these guys are at now, where we expect final run on final run, and this is it. It looks like the decision is falling
coming in. It is going to be a decision for the biggest win of any drift event ever. More people watching than any other drift event ever. Shanahan and Heinonen, this is for top step on the podium tonight. We know that Shanahan is the champion. Heinonen will take second in the championship, but tonight, on the grandest stage of them all, will Conor Shanahan do it twice?
Can he do the double?
Will Lauri Heinonen steal the thunder away? The decision is dropping in. Is it Shanahan's night? It is Shanahan's night. Champion, biggest event winner. He's done the double, and boy, did he work for it this weekend.
Wow.
Engine failure, no practice for either qualifying or battles, and boy, he won it. And you know what? He said to me in passing, and this was off air before, he goes, yo, I've had no practice for 2 days, but what a story it'd be if I still won it. Well, that story, you couldn't have written it because it would have seemed more fiction than fact, but it's reality, and that is Drift Masters. And I got to give it up to Lauri Heinonen and every Finnish fan behind him, because they have been the biggest and best addition to this championship this year. And boy, have you got to thank the Polish fans as well for creating this spectacle, for creating this stage where we can perform, where these drivers can climb the fence like UFC fighters and get the crowd involved. And Conor Shanahan goes over to the full Irish contingent. Boy, there won't be a bar in Poland tonight that isn't drank dry. Unbelievable.
Well, Dave, it's time to look at those final results. This is it, the final results for 2023,
We
Dave.
make it official. There it is. Conor Shanahan wins the big final. Lauri Heinonen takes second on the podium. Paweł Korpuliński will take a very well-deserved third place on the podium. And Paweł Korpuliński, in front of the Polish audience, he gave them something to cheer about tonight. And Conor Shanahan, Lauri Heinonen, first and second in the championship, first and second on the night, and first and second in our hearts. And Becky is down with Lauri Heinonen. What a man, what a mission. He's done it, Becky. He is second in the championship, but what a night for Lauri Heinonen and his fans.
What an incredible evening, Lauri, and what an incredible season. You find yourself second this evening, a second in the championship. Now, after this year, everybody is going to know that you are a killer behind the wheel. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I think we've achieved everything we even more that we set up in the beginning of the season. Conor deserves the championship. I'm happy to be second. It's all winning for us.
Can you put into words what this event has been for you tonight?
It's been amazing. Like all of this seems like a video game. It's not real.
Well, congratulations on second place. Go and celebrate. Thank you, Lauri.
Well, there you have it from Lauri, Heinonen, and the championship order has now been updated. This is how things sit. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Everything went upside down for a while there tonight, where everybody settled in. And not just in first position, we know that in second, but where everybody else sat after that. So I'm looking forward to our championship standings and everybody staying around here. So look at this, Juha Rintanen taking third step, Peter Więcek taking fourth, Jack Shanahan taking fifth, Dwayne McKeever stays where he was in sixth, Kevin Pazor, and top 8 finish for Kevin Piscalti and Kevin Pazor. Very deserved, the 2 standout drivers for me that really upped again. So the champion is Conor Shanahan as he celebrates in the stadium. Let's remind ourselves, Ian, of the amazing journey he's had this year from start to finish.
It's been an incredible year. Look at this, Dave. Scenes in the stadium right now of Conor Shanahan celebrating in front of the Irish. And wow, I can't wait to relive the whole year of Conor Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, he's battled. It hasn't been easy for anyone on this grid, and I don't think it's been obvious from start to finish who was going to win this. We didn't know coming into this event, and it came all the way down to the final couple of battles, which is what you want as an unbiased spectator. But the drivers would love to sort this out far quicker as big celebrations go on the tarmac, and no one's going to care that they're ripping up the tarmac. So let's have a look at the best moments of Conor Shanahan. Our 2023 champion has been crowned. Conor Shanahan has fulfilled a lifelong dream of being the best in the business, and he had to work for it all weekend. That is all from the 2023 Drift Masters Championship. We're back next year with more action, more smoke from this incredible sport. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next year, where it's going to get bigger, badder, and better. Good night. We'll see you then.